I'm going to, without further ado, let me show you this woman's video. And at first, I truly illegal traffic stop exposed how I saved my client from a DUI. So when I first watched this, like I said, I first thought that it was like an advertisement for her firm. And then after I watched it, I realized she was talking about some specific case law that every one of you should know. Every one of you should know the specific case law in this case right here.
Sometimes I get asked, hi everyone. Sometimes I get asked, what can you really do to help me with my DUI case? This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And this is David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. All right, so tell us, what can you do to help?
Well, we just had a case last week where we...
Can you hear me, Colin?
Yep, go ahead.
Okie dokie. I'm going to go live. Are we live now?
Yep.
Okay, well then get the hell out of here. Thank you. I appreciate you starting that live, Colin. I can't see anything through my microphone here, so let me just get on here like this. All righty. All righty. Everybody, welcome to another rendition, or should I say walk down the road of tyranny right here on Delete Laws. That is my main man right there, Colin. He's running that DLZ clips. Thank you so much, Hookman, for ordering another couple trifolds, man. And then there's a couple shout outs I want to give to some different people. I super appreciate you guys' support as we go down this road. And as you know, I personally will never ever stop. This is what I'm meant to do with my life. This is why I was born. This is exactly what I'm supposed to do. So I can tell you this for a fact. We don't stop. How's the sound? Make sure you guys give me a 5x5. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Give me a 5x5 if everybody would, please. Thank you so much, Ed, for the super chat. I appreciate it. God bless you, sir. Thank you. The like button. Hit the like button if you would, just real fast. So this is the gentleman's video that we're going to cover tonight. We're going to show his video tonight right here. This gentleman right here. I just don't want to say that username because I'm not God. I'm not God. I am a tiny little fish. I'm a tiny little fish swimming upstream, doing my absolute best to make sure that we keep the tyranny at an absolute minimum. Everybody hit the like button. Please hit the like button real fast. And then if you would, please type in the comment section, OTVO, Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Or you could even put hashtag JBTP, which stands for, as you know, Jackboot Thug Pig. Jackboot Thug Pig. And how many of the percentage of police, how many police are jackboot thug pigs? What's your percentage? What's the percentage of coppers that are absolute jackboot thug pigs? Can you guys tell me that real quick? Just sound off in the comments for me. What percentage of cops are absolute jackboot thug pigs? What are they? What's the percentage? 99.9, 100%. I mean, I'm just getting all these different numbers. I love you too. Thank you. 75% says Ed, who just put the super chat in. 200% says Victor. God bless Victor. 98%. Wanda says, hey, Jack. 99%. 80% says Leonard. Leonard says David. It says any offers that stands by. Aegis said 66.7%, 0.8%, 68%. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. That's I'll tell you what, if we overturn Terry versus Ohio and we get back, and when we do overturn Terry versus Ohio and we get back to that Fourth Amendment standard where no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation by the victim, when we get to that place, then we're going to have a much better society. It's going to be hands down better for all of us the moment we get back to a constitutional standard, to a Fourth Amendment standard, that no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation. Until then, You want to use your Fifth Amendment right. You want to use that Fifth Amendment right, the right to remain silent. You don't want to have a back and forth with coppers. You want to immediately, every time you talk to cops, invoke that Fifth Amendment. And the reason why, and the Fifth Amendment card is done. I'm getting it printed right now. So Fifth Amendment card, what's this? Is today Tuesday or Wednesday? I've kind of lost track of time here. I've been working just around the clock. No rest for the weary. It's Tuesday. So we should have that Fifth Amendment card coming out by this Friday, maybe by Monday at the latest, because it takes a while to print them. You're damn straight, Hulk smash. So right there, you want to invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. And remember, when you guys get a trifold from me, it comes with this nice fat broccoli rod rubber band. It goes on your visor. It goes on your visor. What's up, Playboy? This goes on your visor. Your trifold goes on your visor. Your license, your registration, proof of insurance goes on your visor. You don't have to have your actual license in a laminate, but you do need your registration and proof of insurance in a laminate, so it's ready to go. Everything goes in your visor, just up like this. It's got to go there. You guys have got to get this. Share with your friends. Explain to them how important it is that you absolutely have everything put together for yourself so that you don't end up going to a dungeon. I wish it wasn't this way. I wish that I didn't have a trifold business. I wish my business wasn't selling trifolds and Fifth Amendment cards. I wish that wasn't true, but it is. If you engage with the cop, he's going to try to find a way to arrest you, impound your car, and steal your money. I heard it from another auditing channel earlier today. I heard it from another. John, thank you. I appreciate it. Butch, the original. Yeah, another lawsuit. We're going to cover Beth's wrist video as well. Hopefully, we're going to cover it on this particular live. Gloria, good to see you, Gloria. It's always nice to see you. So, couple of things here first. Got some house cleaning to do. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of things that maybe you didn't know before and that now today you will know. So here is the Cocoa Police Department. And we did call them and ask them if they could, they still have it the same way. Man, they still have it like this. This is really frustrating. Maybe we should open it up to the floor and maybe more people should hit the Cocoa Police Department Facebook page. So I can't see her on my mic. I'm really sorry. But I want to show you guys this. So here's what's happened so far. We have the Cocoa Police Department Facebook page. So right here, this is the Cocoa Police Department in Florida. And as you guys know, if you put Florida man and then whatever you want to search in Google, you're going to get all kinds of things. All kinds of things. Terry, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. So this is the Cocoa. And I called them and I asked them why. So 2 veteran police officers among the latest to be sworn in. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to judge a book by the cover, but these guys signed up to a Death Star so they could be tyrannists and they could be jackboot thug pigs. And there's really no other way to see it. You joined a Death Star, boys. I don't care how nice you look on the outside. You look like an evil demon to me, to be honest. I take a look at your face. You look like a demon, bro. You look like a demon as well. You look evil. Hate to say it. So now what we're going to cover tonight is this right here. The Cocoa Police Department has been informed of alleged misconduct involving one of our supervisors dating back to 2016. That would be Amy Moon. We're currently in the process of thoroughly examining the allegations and the supporting evidence. We'll take appropriate action based on the outcome of our investigation. Now, there's no way to comment here, and I already gave them a call the last time. There's no... are these the same 2 coppers, or is this administered police host to 2 new? So they got 2 here, and then they got 2 more. Are those the same guys? They don't look like the same guys. Are those the same guys? No. Maybe they are the same guys. This is just a glamour shot. Are those the same dudes? Are those the same dudes? I can't tell. Are those the same guys just looking glammed up in a glamour shot? I just can't tell. Did everybody hit the like button? Has everybody taken their finger and just reached over and hit the like button? I'm going to get into this video with you guys. Smash that like button real fast. Really helps a lot. And then make sure you guys, if you really want to help me grow this channel, like, comment, and share the videos, especially the daily friendly reminders and the trifold videos. Every person here has got to know the trifold videos. inside and out. And if you don't know how to use your trifold properly, then you gotta buy a clue, because it really matters. And you can learn it by plain and simple, just watching the videos where I teach the trifold. Now I'm going to share with you guys a video today, and this video is from the handle. His handle is I Am God, which, you're not. And neither am I, but I think he's being facetious. Obviously, it's a joke, because he's a real peace and love kind of guy. You can get that from the video I'm going to show you guys. But there's a couple more things that I've got to show you about this. First, let's meet Chris Bradshaw. We're going to meet the sergeant who we're going to cover tonight. And I think it's right here. I'm right here. Sorry. Share, and I'm going to airdrop this. You guys are going to see this. So let's meet Sergeant Chris Bradshaw. Let's meet this gentleman. This is the guy who we're going to show his video tonight. Thanks for the super chat, Michael. I appreciate that. God bless you, sir. If you don't have my trifold, for the love of all that is God, please have my trifold in your car. Please get my trifold in your car. Whether you get the $9 version or the $30 version, I've given away about 100 trifolds this week. So people emailed me and said, hey, I'm on a fixed income. Hey, I just don't have any money. That's about the extent of the letter that you have to put. I don't need anything more than that. Hey, I don't have the $9. I'll just give it to you. I give it away for free. This is also the product that I sell to make a living, but this is not what this is about. I created this so that people would have a way to fight back with the cops. And now, if you plead your Fifth Amendment right away when you deal with cops, they can no longer question you. You guys saw me go through the DUI checkpoint. He said, how you doing tonight, sir? And I said, I plead the Fifth Amendment. He said, have a nice night. He can't ask me another question, or that invalidates his qualified immunity. As we found out from the two-prong test, that if you inform the officer of the right he's violating, and then he knows better, that goes around his qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a big deal. It's just not the biggest deal. The biggest deal is Terry versus Ohio. It's not even remotely close. It's Terry versus Ohio by a mile. Everything else is a far, far second, because of all the policies and officer safety that extends out from Terry versus Ohio. You absolutely better have my trifold in your car. And if you don't have your proof of insurance and your registration on a laminated card, then you're failing yourself. You should have this put together. Proof of insurance and registration on a laminated card. Help yourself out a little bit. Don't get caught flat-footed with the jackboot thug pig breathing down your neck. You don't need it. You don't want it. You want to take control of that pig right away. You don't want him to control you. You control the pig. That's how it works. That's how it works. Thanks a lot, Michael, for the super chat. I appreciate it, man. God bless you. That's what we do. We crowdfund. I crowdfund lots of people. I help lots of people, and I'm not going to stop. And the only way I'm able to help lots of people is by you guys helping lots of people. So if you don't have my trifold, well, you show the camera, you show the cop. You show the camera, you say, right here, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. I'm going to show this to you, copper. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. Stop asking me any questions. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that we really knew what we were talking about here before I got into this video. So first, we're going to meet Officer Chris Bradshaw. Cop Chris Bradshaw, copper Chris Bradshaw. As you guys know, Press with Rancor is in the room, everybody. Press with Rancor is here. Gloria pointed him out. Good to see you, Press. I'm glad you're here, man. Press with Rancor is being persecuted and prosecuted by District Attorney Laura Wickman up on the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. And we have been actively doing everything we can to help him. And we are not going to stop helping him until his case is completed. So Laura Wickman, the prosecutor up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, look, you can do what you're doing. I'm a member of the press. There's a good chance that I'm going to come and want to interview you and ask you why you're pressing a felony on a guy who literally his only crime is holding a camera and pointing it at a copper. So Laura Wickman, just be ready. Just be ready. I have every right to interview you. I have over 2,000 videos on my channel. I am a legitimate journalist known around the world in every different country that there's YouTube. People contact me from Colombia, from Belgium, from Sweden. All over every single state in the United States, I have customers who have bought my trifold, who have donated to me. So Laura Wickman over there in the Upper Michigan Peninsula, the UP, just remember, I have every right to question you. I have every right to question you. And I'm going to question you. I will question you. That will be a fact. I will question you, Lauren Wickman. Lauren Wickman. I can't remember. You shut your Facebook page down, which is a little bit of pressure. So I imagine with me in front of you, you're going to wilt, or you're going to be a Karen and call the cops. Oh my God, a journalist is here. He's got 2 cameras. He's pointing them both at me. So get ready for Lauren Wickman. Okay, so first we're going to meet Chris Bradshaw. So let me give you a little preface. Let's get ready to get into this, because now we're going to jump into this. So I got a video sent to me from a subscriber who has the handle I Am God. Obviously, he's not, and I'm not either. But that's the name of his handle. He's being facetious, having a good time. And he sent me his video, and I saw his video, and it made my blood boil. My blood, I'm telling you, baby, I could feel the fire burning inside of me. And so I decided to take action. And typically, if you guys are new to my channel, you don't know who I am. What I do is I support people who are arrested by the police. And I say I, but I mean we, because I don't support people who are arrested by the police. We do, Team DLZ. All of us chip in $5, $10, $15, $100, and we bail people out of jail. We pay people's rent. We make sure they have food on their table if they don't have any food. You know, I can't help every single person. Typically, we only help people who are victims of the state or victim of police brutality. So we help a lot of people. And along the road here, there was a subscriber named I Am God. He's right here in the comment section. He sent me over a video for me to take a look at. And so I took a look at the video. I'm going to show that. But what I did when I saw the video is it made me so mad that I called up the Cocoa Police Department in Florida. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning here. And I got a hold of a copper who goes by the name of Chris Bradshaw. And so I got a hold of him, and let me share with you guys, let me introduce Chris Bradshaw. And then from there, I'm going to let you guys hear the audio of a conversation I had with Mr. Bradshaw, who was respectful and nice and courteous. So here he is, and let's get into him a little bit. This is only a 2-minute watch, so let's watch this.
The police department. I'm the newly assigned SRO here at Cambridge Elementary. Prior to coming to Cambridge, I was a midnight shift officer. I've been with the department since 2000. In 2007 to 2012, I was assigned to Cocoa High School as a school resource officer there. I'm looking to adding a layer of security for the campus, and I'm looking to build relationships with the kids here. You can eat this. What are you going to get today for lunch?
Lunch.
Lunch? What are you going to get? The reason why it's good to have, and it's important to have a resource officer at the elementary school level, is because this is where we can change hearts and minds about how kids see cops. You know, here we're very interactive. You know, being so brand new, I'm actually in this uniform, and I'll be changing uniforms to give us a little softer touch so the kids can really come up and want to interact. I'm a very get up, hang out with the kids, sit down, eat lunch with them, high five in the morning, good morning, whenever. So far, my first 2 days here, every time I walk into the front door over there, there's a line of kids waiting. And every morning I get out of my car, I yell, good morning, good morning. And I look for all of them to respond back. And you know, I come by giving high fives and hanging out with them. And it's a lot of fun. It's a new adventure for me.
The more the kids see that the resource officer is here to help and to be involved in everything that's going on, I think they gain the trust of the
Let me stop this real quick and let me jump in here real fast. You know, you don't have to allow your children to be indoctrinated by jackboot thug pigs. You don't have to have your kid participate. As a matter of fact, I would tell your kid that the most dangerous person at your school is that resource officer they're talking about. So I just wanted you to meet Chris. That's all I wanted you to do. Chris was the gentleman who I talked to for over an hour from the Cocoa Police Department in Florida. We had a very fair conversation. And as you guys know, every time a cop tells me how good they are, you know what I do? I push back with real facts, real statistics, real world consequences of what the coppers do to each and every one of us. So I'm going to show you just 2-3 minutes of this video that this gentleman sent to me.
That's where you guys are living at now? Florida law requires you to identify yourself to a police officer.
We understand that there's a group of individuals that feel that they don't have to abide by the laws. Okay, they feel that there's constitutional rights and all this other stuff. We understand that.
Have you understood any of this yet?
Basically, yeah, you guys are gonna arrest me if I don't provide you ID when you ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he just feels that we have to tell him why we're stopping.
After the false arrest that was made by Sergeant Amy Moon of Brevard County, Cocoa Beach, Florida, we discover in her charging affidavit that she was dispatched because someone called about their suspicion that the suspect was at a lake with possible underage women, and were also suspicious of possible drug activity. On the scene, however, Sergeant Amy Moon identifies both women as being in their 30s. No drug activity was afoot, and no contraband was found in her illegal search of the vehicle before Amy Moon illegally impounded it.
What you doing, guys? Come down off the top of the van. Come down so I can talk to you. I can't hear you. Come down so I can hear you.
Are you suspecting a crime has been committed?
Yes. Come down here so I can talk to you.
Okay, right there. As soon as he asked her, do you expect a crime is being committed? That's your cue to now invoke your Fifth Amendment right. You pull your trifold out from your visor and you say, if you're accusing me of a crime, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You can no longer question me or I'll sue you for violating my rights. It goes around your qualified immunity. I'm not going to answer any questions. If you question me without my attorney present, I'm showing you right here, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. I'm showing the camera, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. This video is for the judge, Miss Moon. No more questions. And he didn't do that. So watch what happens to him. The way he did it was the old way. The old way was, do you expect me of a crime? Have I done something wrong? Now, it's totally different. Now we invoke the Fifth immediately.
Come down here. You too.
And she's ordering him around.
Ma'am, do you have your ID on you, sir?
What crime do you suspect has been committed?
Do you have your ID? I will gladly talk to you. Do you have your ID on you?
So that's the old way. What crime do you expect me of committing? And now she's questioning him. Do you have ID on you? I'm not sure if you know or not, but if you ask someone if they have ID on them, that's questioning them. I've invoked my Fifth Amendment right. You can no longer question me. That's why having the Fifth Amendment on a piece of paper, whether that be my trifold or you wrote it with a marker on a piece of paper, and then having your camera, showing the camera, I've shown her, I've invoked my Fifth Amendment right. There it is. I've invoked my Fifth Amendment right. This is for the judge. That's why it's so powerful. They no longer have qualified immunity if you invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. But this video literally pisses me off so bad.
If you let me know what crime has been committed, I'll be happy to show you my ID.
Okay, that's not how this works. Ma'am,
That's not how this works.
come out of the van. Don't go inside the van.
Now, why did that person lose their freedom? Because Amy Moon is on the scene. They didn't.
What crime do you suspect has been
Okay, tell you what. Have a seat. Have a seat. We're not going to...
Now he's being detained. Have a seat means you've taken dominion over my person, over my organs, over my body, over my skin, over my brain. I don't want to sit down, and you're telling me I have to sit down.
Have a seat.
You can arrest me if you'd like.
I don't want to arrest you,
Well, if
okay?
there's been a crime,
We don't need to make it
why are you
difficult.
harassing us?
Have a seat so I can watch you safely.
Unless there's been a crime that you're suspecting.
Have a seat.
Can I speak to your supervisor?
I am the supervisor. Have a seat.
I am the supervisor, Miss Moon. I don't think you are.
Listen, you have no reason to be ordering me around if there's no crime that's been committed.
Have a seat so I can...
Now he's exactly correct, but now she's still ordering him around because he didn't plead his Fifth Amendment.
talk to everybody safely.
Unless you can tell me what crime that you're suspecting, I don't have to listen to what damn thing you're telling me.
And look how compliant this gentleman is just to do these things, just to turn around and put his hands behind his back.
All right. Keep your hands out of your pocket. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Now she's demanding, she's arresting him. He's been under arrest.
What are you arresting me for?
You're not under arrest, but if you don't want to,
arrest?
if you don't want to listen,
Not under arrest. If I can't go freely, it's called being under arrest.
have a seat.
Wow.
Coco, one detained. Stand at the van.
One detained.
It's called harassment. We're sitting here enjoying ourselves, and you come over and harass us for no reason. There's no crime, and I even ask you what crime I told you I comply.
One detained.
Wow. Absolutely wow. That is unbelievable.
When a police officer asks you for identification?
I don't know if you're a real cop. Let me see your ID. You could be.
Seriously.
No, seriously. I haven't seen any of your information. I haven't committed any crime. This isn't freaking Nazi Germany. I don't need to show you no damn papers unless you're suspecting a crime.
He's correct. Step it up, she said. She said 477, step it up. Okay, so you saw what I saw here. This made me absolutely incensed. When he explained to her the way it works, that we're not in Nazi Germany, you have to articulate a crime to detain me, and she didn't, I lost my mind. I got so mad. I was so angry. So what I did is I went ahead and I called over to the Cocoa Police Department. And it was about 4 o'clock in the morning here in Los Angeles. And so it was West Coast time, 4 a.m. It was 7 a.m. East Coast time. And when I called over there, I got Mr. Chris Bradshaw on the phone, the gentleman who you saw a moment ago on that Facebook page. And Mr. Chris Bradshaw continued to have a very long conversation with me where no matter what he said, I was going to push back. I'm not some, ride-along guy. Look at me, I'm in a ride-along. Look, I'm wearing a bulletproof vest. That's not who I am. I do not accept this system. I don't call them law enforcement officers because they're not. They're peace officers. None of them sign up to be a law enforcer. They magically become that later. So people who use that term, they're beta male cucks. If you're calling them law enforcement officers, you're lost because they don't sign up to be a law enforcement officer. They sign up to be a peace officer. If you call them law enforcement officers and I hear you, I'll say, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. You haven't read the Mullen, you haven't read the Knapp, you haven't read the Wickersham. You're just some felon who picked up a camera and started filming people because you couldn't get another job. Law enforcement officers, look at me, I'm in a ride-along, look at me. It's just so pathetic. It really is pathetic. So I don't put up with that kind of nonsense. Now, let me tell you what I did. I went ahead and I called over there to what's the deal here? Well, that's interesting. Forgive me real quick here. Oh, I see. I see, said the blind man. I went ahead and I called over there and I was like, hey, I want to talk about this with you guys, and I want to know exactly what the real deal Holyfield is. So let me go like this right here. That might help me right there. There we go. Now I'm going to show you guys this video. And this was absolutely epic because the conversation that we had was so unbelievable. To listen to what Chris Bradshaw said to me as we were going over the details, he answered all of my questions, everything that I said, everything that I wanted to know. He sat there and he answered all of my questions. And to be honest with you, I could not have been happier with the conversation that we had because he gave me a real opportunity to show you guys how absolutely tyrannical this police state, prison state, death state is that we're all stuck in, and we can't get away. So here's the video of the conversation that I had. If you saw this earlier, I've actually edited this since then, and I want you guys to hear this, and I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to break down the kind of guy that Chris Bradshaw actually is. You saw that they're doing an investigation on Amy Moon. So that happened because of Chris Bradshaw. Chris Bradshaw should get a lot of credit. Oh, is there no sound? There's no sound on this. Let me see if I can fix this bad chicken. Let me see if I can fix this just real quick here. Let me see if I can fix this and see if I can get this to work. So there's no sound on that. Still processing, huh? I'm not sure why the sound is not working. That is quite all right. What we will do is I will switch gears here real fast. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so you guys couldn't hear any sound on that, huh? There was no audio for that. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, so you can hear me, but not the audio. Let me just check my sound output here real fast, and I'll fix this. It'll just take 1 second. I apologize for the delay. Output, Rig Pro, input, Rig Pro, output. Okay. Let me try it one more time then and see if this works here. If this doesn't work, I will reset here. Wonder how much more this has to go. Because I'm also uploading this to the YouTubes so that I can have the full video ready to go on YouTube here. And hopefully this bad chicken will work. Let me know if you guys can hear now. Okay, do you tighten up, Chille? Wow. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful. So I have a little bit of a sound loss here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch gears here real fast because we're also going to cover Ironton on this particular live stream. So the sound is not good on that. So let me switch gears real fast. We're going to come right back to this because I have it uploading on YouTube and I know that you'll be able to hear it through YouTube. I don't know why it's not connecting, but that's okay. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch gears real fast and I'm going to talk about Ironton, Ohio, just real fast. So this is Beth Rist's video. So when I left Ironton, Ohio, what happened was 3 of the cops that when I was there, one resigned, one was arrested and put in prison, and the chief of police of Ironton resigned. And I sued Ironton, and now they're being sued again for taking the camera out of someone's hand. And so the judge over there, the federal judge, Barrett or Bartlett, I can't remember the exact, because I got Nivens versus Bartlett in my head, so I can't remember if it's Barrett or Bartlett. But Bartlett is attached to Judge Kevin Waldo. They're on the same judges circuits. They go all the way back. And so I'm going to get rid of Barrett or Bartlett by just refiling. I'm going to go through a reconsideration motion. And then after that, I'm going to refile my lawsuit against all of those people in Ironton because I'm not going to let it go. Like there's no way I let it go. So if you guys hear me say in here, I'm going to help this gentleman sue this copper. What I do is if you live and you're an attorney and you have a bar card in any state, you can reach out and contact me. As a matter of fact, there's an attorney friend of mine who I've been friends with for over a year who's helping out someone else in Pennsylvania this next week. There's someone who's on Team DLZ and they just reached out to me recently. We're going to have to do a little bit of a fundraiser for him. It's about $1,000, which isn't a lot. And he's going to help out another activist who was wrongfully arrested. So that's about to happen right now. I mean, we're on the verge of that happening. It happens in the next, I would say the next 2 weeks, you guys are going to see that. So if you have a bar card in any state or you're a paralegal or you're an authorized legal writer, then you contact me. And what I do is I help people sue by connecting them to you. Because I don't have a bar card in Florida, I couldn't help this gentleman sue. But if you listen to what Chris Bradshaw is going to say here, he's going to explain to me that what's the gentleman's name who goes by that handle? He has the video that I'm covering right now. What's his legal name? Jeremiah or something like that. But so Ironton police is recently being sued again. They're being sued again right now. So what this says, I'm going to read a little bit this to you. So here it is. Here comes now plaintiff Francis R. Murphy by and through undersigned counsel and alleges the following against defendants. This is a civil rights action for money damages for injuries sustained by plaintiff Francis R. Murphy, herein Mr. Murphy, as a result of the violation of Mr. Murphy's constitutional and common law rights by defendants on or around September 18, 2022. During the evening of September 18, 2022, Mr. Murphy was attacked and arrested by defendants McKnight, Chance Blankenship, Brandon Blankenship, and Corey Allison for expressing inter alia that he intended to exercise his First Amendment right to film police. Mr. Murphy brings this action under Section 42, 1983 and 1988 to address the deprivation under the color of state law his rights secured by the United States Constitution. More specifically, this complaint seeks to redress violations of his right to free speech under protection of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution as applied to states via Fourth Amendment, and his right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures and from the use of excessive force under the protection of the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution, as applied to states via the 14th Amendment. Mr. Murphy also asserts Section 1983 claims against defendants Wagner, Pam Wagner. No wonder why she resigned. She got sued by me and then she got sued again. Pam. No wonder why Pam resigned. No wonder why. So Pam got sued by me, and Pam, I'm not done with you by a damn sight. You think you're done? We ain't done. I'm going to get you in your individual capacity. I'm going to get money out of your wallet, Pam Wagner. I'm not stopping. To the defense counsels of Ironton who are opposing me, number one, you guys are not that good at what you do. I mean, I am literally autodidactic and I got a team of people who help me, but I'm just a single dude over here with a couple fringe people who help me. And you guys are not equipped to take us on. And when I refile my lawsuit, you're going to lose. So with that being said, Pam Wagner resigned after I left Ironton last year sometime. She was sued right before she resigned, September 22nd, 2022. So that's why she resigned. She can't keep up with all the lawsuits against her because she's inept at being a cop. Claims against defendant Wagner in her capacity as chief of the police of Ironton, Ohio, and the city of Ironton, Ohio, for failure to properly hire, train, and supervisors cops for promulgating customs policies and practices which proximately caused the violation of Mr. Murphy's constitutional rights, all under the authority of Monell versus New York. It's called a Monell claim. I filed 3 of them so far. Versus New York Department of Social Services, 1978. Mr. Murphy also asserts pendent state law claims as set forth below. So now, so just so you guys know, this is the beginning, and that's, you just kind of summarize your story. And now the next section of a federal civil rights lawsuit is jurisdiction and venue. So this action is brought pursuant to U.S. Code 42, 1983 to redress deprivation of color of law of plaintiff's rights as secured by the United States Constitution. This court has jurisdiction. So jurisdiction and venue. Do you see what all they're doing here is listing what we're suing for and which jurisdiction and what venue it's going to be in. So this is, the jurisdiction is U.S. Code 42, 1983 to redress, and this court pursuant to U.S. Code 28, 1331 and 1343, both of these codes I have sued for as well. As certain claims asserted herein arise under the Constitution of the United States, to wit, the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. This court has also supplemental jurisdiction over state claims asserted herein pursuant to U.S. Code 28, 1367. Venue is proper in this court pursuant to U.S. Code 28 because substantially all of the events that give rise to the claim in this action occurred in Lawrence County, Ohio, and said county is situated within the boundaries of this court's geographical area and responsibility. So this is really important here that you understand jurisdiction and venue, because a lot of people contact me and say, hey, will you help me? Hey, will you help me? Hey, will you help me? Help yourself. I taught a ChatGPT class, and Zane Kane out of Arizona watched my ChatGPT class. He called me up and said, help me, help me. And I said, help yourself, Zane. And Zane wrote his own federal civil rights lawsuit, and he filed it in the state of Arizona. I have a copy of the lawsuit on my computer here. So that's the very beginning. That's the very beginning of this. So we're gonna take a pause on this one. We're gonna come back to Ironton because I really want to finish this Chris Bradshaw interview that I did with him. He didn't know he was interviewing, but as you guys know, I'm a journalist. I record all my phone calls. If you ever talk to me, all my phone calls are recorded. I told Chris I was recording the call. I tell everybody I'm recording the phone call. That's how it is. If you call my phone and I get you on the phone, the call's being recorded. You can bank on that. I am not going to get blindsided again by someone saying I said this or saying I said that and not have my own audio recording of the entire thing. So with that being said, let me share with you now the audio of Sergeant. I don't call them Sergeant, Lieutenant, or any of those pet names that they created to try to be a military organization. I call him Mr. Chris Bradshaw. So let's listen to what he said.
I'm Sergeant Bradshaw. I'm over our criminal investigations.
My name's ChilleDeCastro. I have a channel on YouTube called Elite Laws, and what I do, I help people sue bad police departments.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you want to suspend Amy Moon and take away her badge. I'm watching a video right now, and if I get a hold of this guy, I'm going to help him file a federal civil rights lawsuit against you guys. You can
remember, I can't write a lawsuit because I don't have a bar card in Florida, but if there's any Florida attorneys who want to jump in and help, and Chris is actually going to explain that this gentleman still has standing.
Not walk up to people and just put them in torture cuffs. You're way outside the boundaries. Have you seen this video?
No, sir, I have not. I apologize. I haven't seen it.
Well, let me send it over to you. Do you have an email address I can send it to?
I do.
What?
I'm not going to release Chris's email address because he sat on the phone with me and answered all of my questions. He was nothing but a good dude to me on the phone. Now, he told me he's got some stories about himself out there online. He's a cop, so of course he does. All of them do. They all endorse this type of violence and aggression on us that you're going to have anybody hate you if you're a pig because you signed up to enforce those policies and procedures.
What makes a cop think that they get to detain somebody because somebody called about them? You don't.
I have no idea.
You don't get to go to a lake and tell people to get off the roof of their van, stop tanning, get down here. I want to talk to you. And he says, "No, what's your probable cause? Do you have something that you
legit question? Legit.
I committed a crime." And then she says, "Turn around, put your hands behind your back." Okay. That is not freedom. That is a police state.
I got you. By what you're describing, it makes sense.
I mean, I could send this to you guys, but you know what will happen? Nothing.
So that's not true. We saw that there's a post on the Cocoa, Florida Police Department's Facebook page that they're investigating what Amy Moon did. Let's see if justice is going to be served.
Well, so and again,
look me up. I'm really not joking.
But Mr. Castro, I have no reason in the world to doubt the information you're telling me. So, you may have dealt with other officers in the past. Hold on. Wait, listen for 1 second. You may have dealt with other officers in the past that treated you however way or demeaned or did whatever they did, but that's not me, okay? I believe everything you have to...
Put a 1 in the chat if you've dealt with a cop who has demeaned you, degraded you, abused you. Put a 1 in the chat if you have dealt with a cop who is an absolute jackboot thug pig, and that cop put the taste in your mouth for the rest of them. Put a 1 in the chat if that is true. If that is true. And that's the reason why I am the way I am. I didn't become this way because I just don't want to like cops.
Say I believe who you are. I believe everything you do.
I don't understand. What in the hell makes this person think they just get to detain people and put them in torture cuffs when someone called and said they're suspicious that maybe this guy has an underage girl with him? And even if he does, why can't he go to the lake with an underage girl?
Why can't
I know all kinds of underage girls who are under 18 years old that are my nieces and nephews' friends, and If I was with them at the lake, there would be nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Just because you're with someone who's underage doesn't mean you're a pedophile.
Right.
Exactly.
This idea that it's just so stupid.
Right.
And then she goes to the lake. They're up on top of the van sunning, and they say, "Come down here." She says, "Come down here. I want to talk to you." And he's like, "Do you suspect me of committing a crime?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, well, tell me what the crime is, and I'll come down there." And she's like, "No, come down here first." Then he gets down off the van, and she puts him in handcuffs.
Can I ask one? Let me ask one question. When did this happen? Roughly what year or day or whatever?
2016. Amy Moon, is she still there?
Yeah, she's still here.
Watching this video is disgusting.
Okay.
So originally when I called, I honestly didn't know it was 2016. The video looked old to me, but just so you know, the gentleman who sent me the video, you still have standing, and Chris Bradshaw is going to explain you can still file a federal civil rights lawsuit. It's not over for you.
It's nothing short of tyrannical police state garbage. Here, listen to what happens. Just listen.
I'm listening.
And no contraband was found in her.
She walks up here. Listen. Okay, she's walking up to the van. Just listen.
What's doing, guys?
What you doing, guys? There's two people up on top of the van.
Come down off the top of the van.
She orders them off the top of the van as if she has the authority to tell them where to put their bodies.
Come down so I can talk to you. I can't hear you. Come down so I can hear you, ma'am.
She demands that they come down for the van because she can't hear them. Come down here so I can talk to you. There was no crime. She simply had a phone call. Some Karen called in and said, "I'm afraid they're down there using drugs. They've got underage girls." And so now my freedom is gone. And so she says, "Come down here. I can't hear you."
I can hear you.
Are you suspecting a crime's being committed?
Yes. Come down.
Yes, come down here.
Here so I can talk to you.
So he complies, which I never would do. I would tell her to go pound sand.
Right.
Come down here.
Did you hear Chris Bradshaw agree with me? I would tell her to go pound sand, and he said, right, because he hasn't done anything wrong. We're just two guys on the phone, John.
She's coaxing him down off the van. He jumps down off the van.
You too, ma'am.
She orders the woman off the van. Who the hell does this chick think she is? She has no right to be ordering people around.
I hope this helps the Internal Affairs Department of Cocoa Police. I hope this video is pretty clear. Do you need more? What else do you need? I think you might need a federal civil rights lawsuit, is what I think. So any Florida attorneys who want to reach out to me and help this gentleman with his paperwork, I'll be happy to welcome you to Team DLZ.
There's no crime there. She was called to investigate a scene. You can do a Terry stop and take a look around, but there's no need to Terry stop anybody if there's no reasonable articulable suspicion.
So let me explain what I just said, and I want to be abundantly clear here. So when the police are called on you and they come out to the scene and they see you there, they can do a Terry stop based on the reasonable articulable suspicion they got from the person on the phone. A Terry stop would include that they can touch you for weapons, they can grab you immediately upon seeing you. They can't demand you off of a van. They can't demand where you're going to stand. They can say you're being detained. But let me explain what a Terry stop is. That gives the copper the right to go and investigate because he got reasonable articulable, she got from the phone call. And so when she gets the call, she goes out to the van, she looks around, and now she realizes the reasonable articulable suspicion on the phone, there's no reasonable articulable suspicion here. I don't smell marijuana. I don't see any underage girls here. Both the girls were over 30. So at that point, she can investigate using Terry versus Ohio. She can look around and go, I don't see any reasonable articulable suspicion. At that point, she has to stand down and she should leave citizens alone. But Amy doesn't do that. Amy, I think you're going to get sued.
Do you have your ID on you, sir?
Do you have your ID on you? And then he says the appropriate question.
Ryan, do you suspect it's been committed?
Do you have your ID? I will gladly talk to you. Do you have your ID on you?
If you don't want to let me know what crime is being committed,
Okay, that's not how this works.
No, that's exactly how this works, Miss Moon. I want her suspended. I want her fired. And if you guys don't do it, this is garbage. You don't get to demand.
Can I ask a question,
exactly
Mr. Castro? I'm sitting here listening to you, and you're yelling at me for some reason. What I'm doing is I'm trying to help you facilitate what you want to need done.
I want her suspended without pay.
All right.
Listen more. I'll stop yelling at you. I'm sorry.
Castro, listen to me. You're going to have to go through this whole thing again, but listen to me. Listen, please. I'm really trying to help you.
You cannot.
He actually is trying to help me. He actually is. They've put a post on Facebook saying they're investigating this incident. So Chris Bradshaw is trying to help. He actually is. You got to give credit where credit's due. You know I hate cops. That didn't change overnight because I met Chris Bradshaw. But he is actually trying to help me on the phone. He does actually help me. The gentleman whose video this is, you have standing. You can file a federal civil rights lawsuit. Mr. Bradshaw educated me on it.
Treat people like this. You cannot demand ID of people. That's exactly how this works. You have to tell me the crime you're accusing me of and actually want to arrest me before I have to give my ID. That's the Fourth Amendment standard. There's no such thing as a stop on ID state. That's a myth. That's garbage.
Oh, I totally understand. I know that.
This is one of my subscribers. This is someone who's on my page that supports my channel. I want her suspended. I want her suspended for a week at least without pay.
How old are you?
You don't get to put another person in those. I mean, excuse me, sir. Those are torture cuffs. They were made for slaves. They're torture. You know they're torture. Between me and you, you know putting handcuffs on someone is very painful.
Oh, I've been in them. I understand. I do. I got you.
It's miserable. Well, if I put them on you, you'd really understand what it feels like. I wouldn't do that to you because I wouldn't put you in handcuffs. But you know as well as I do, it hurts. And she made this guy get off his van, and she's ordering around his girlfriend, and they haven't done anything wrong. They're just sitting at the lake enjoying the day. And the cop pulls up, and now he lives in a police state, and he has to submit his will, and he gets put in torture cuffs in 2 seconds flat.
All right.
This guy talking on the phone to Chris Bradshaw is spot on so far.
Okay, tell you what, have a seat.
Now she tells him to sit on the ground, and he goes,
Have a seat. We're not going to do this. Have a seat.
You can arrest me if you like.
I don't want to arrest you,
Well,
okay?
it's been a crime.
We don't need to make it
Why are you
difficult.
harassing us?
Have a seat so I can watch you safely.
have a seat so I can watch you safely, Amy? Who do you think you are? You're a woman who, when I put you on a federal civil rights lawsuit, I put your name first on Google. That's what I do. With every cop I sue. That's what I do. I put her name first. So it shows up that no matter what she says to anybody, there'll always be a percentage of people who believe she's a bad person. And so the same thing they do to criminals, to people who are felons. They put a felony on them forever, and a certain percentage of people always believe that person's a bad person.
Are you a bad person forever because you get the felony mark? No, you're not. Are you a bad person because you get a felony? You might not be. We've created so many laws in this country. The name of this channel is Delete Laws because we have too many bad laws, and you put a law on the books, there's a cop ready to enforce it.
So that's why I pay the money for Google to put the people who I sue at the top of Google. You can look it up: DeCastro versus Las Vegas Metro, DeCastro versus Ironton Police Department. I just when I see stuff like this, and it makes me so intense.
And look at the other cop coming in hot to a hippie who's wearing a dream catcher with his beads, who was sitting up on top of their van enjoying the clouded sun, the clouded sky. That's what they're enjoying. There's no sun. They're not laying on top of their van enjoying the sun. They're just enjoying a clouded sky.
That I'm willing to call you at 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean,
yeah, because out in your town, it's still dark.
Yeah.
It's still night out there.
Yeah, it's still pitch black here on the West Coast.
It is.
But I'm just so upset right now. You don't get to tell me to have a seat. Where's he supposed to sit? On the ground? She gets to tell him to get off the top of his van. Now he's got to sit on the ground? She gets to emasculate this man in front of his girlfriend? Why? How come? I mean, I'm willing to work with you guys behind the scenes, but if there's not a suspension here without pay, this is crap. You guys don't get to do this to people. And you got a black eye on this. And you and I have had a fair conversation. You've been fair to me on the phone. I'm trying to be fair to you. I'm just upset. But she gives you a black eye. She makes people say all cops are paid.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. I mean, there isn't.
Do you hear what he says? I said she makes all cops look bad. And listen to what Chris says in response.
Cops are paid.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. We can all see the video that Amy Moon is acting like she's someone's god. She's their alpha and omega. She's their master. Sit on the ground, she says. Amy, I would tell you to go suck an egg.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, there isn't. One of my jobs before they moved me up here, they moved me to criminal investigations. Like I said, I was the internal affairs supervisor. I've investigated a number of them.
How many cops do you find?
In your 30s, then?
2.
Hit the like button. Hit the like
I
button.
wasn't there very long. It was either 2, and then we had some other ones leave. They resigned prior to us finishing up stuff.
For some reason,
writing on the wall.
For some reason, the profession brings in some of the worst people, and then once they get inside that union, it's just almost damn near impossible to get them out of there. Continually being assaulted with excessive force, continually being charged with being aggressive, continually being charged with overstepping their boundaries of the law. He said on this video, "Tell me what crime it is, and I'll give you my ID." She said, "That's not how this works. I'm a constitutional law scholar. That's exactly how this works." Exactly how this works is what he said.
Let me ask you this real quick, Mr. DeCastro. On that video that you have or anything that you have, does it have like a case number?
So now right here, this is the case number and the information that I needed to, and since I don't really know what I'm doing from the Brevard County, this is this case number, and this is the shot from the gentleman who created the video. And so this just gives a little backdrop.
It says Sergeant Amy Moon of Cocoa, Florida Police. If you write this, I can text it to you if you want. SGT Amy Moon, spelled properly, of Cocoa, COCOA, FL, Police, make false arrest on law-abiding citizens in right retaliation.
So let me look at one thing while you're on the phone with me. When I was asking you for a case number, what I was doing is I was trying to find if maybe in what you had it would have like a year, like a year, like 2023, and then 8 digits behind it. But let me go in here real quick while I got you on the phone. Let me go pull her up.
So he's going to show me how to look up the case, and then he's going to teach me that the gentleman who found this video in September of 2023, you still have standing because the video was just found. The evidence for you has just became public. So that means that you still have standing to file a federal civil rights lawsuit. That means if there's an attorney in Florida who's watching this that wants to help us out and join Team DLZ, I'm ready to take your call. I'm ready to take your email. So, and then he said, in truth, she should be on the conversation so she can hear she's messed up because, Chris Bradshaw will put a bit of candy on this so she feels safe. But he didn't. He didn't. They posted on their Facebook page that they're investigating Amy Moon for what she did in 2016. And let's keep watching because there's a lot more to this, and I'm holding back.
If you don't give us your name, you're going to go to jail.
If you don't give us your name, you're gonna go to jail.
Okay. This is your last chance. If you don't identify yourself, you're going to the county jail, sir.
Brevard. It's spelled weird and pronunciated even weirder. That makes any sense.
2016. Yes. This chick is still a cop in the same place, and she was not sued for this. This is 7 years old.
Oh, this is a 7-year-old case. Holy crap! All right, hold on then. Stand by. Wait one.
But I just want you to listen to this. I just want you to listen real quick. This guy, Chris Bradshaw, is blowing me away. Listen to what he says right here. Listen to the words that he uses. He says, "Oh, this was 2016. Hold on one second. There's more information for you."
Oh, this is a 7-year-old case. Holy crap! All right, hold on then. Stand by. Wait one. Let me go back. Because I didn't look at the right years.
He's trying to help me.
This happened in 16, you said?
He's trying to get accountability for Sergeant Amy Moon. He's trying to hold her accountable.
I didn't think she was on the road then.
He's talking it out.
She was off the road.
She was road for a while?
Well, I think that's when they moved her into training. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Moved her into training?
Can you scoot over to the minutes so I can see the license plate?
Meaning when officers put in requests to go to school, she's the one who processes all of them. Stuff like that. She doesn't do any training.
Doesn't she believe that that's not how this works? That is exactly how it works. The way this works is you have to accuse me of a crime and arrest me before I give you my identification. There's no such thing as that's fake.
So
what's going on?
So I'm not sure what this blue writing is. I think maybe someone else put this here, but only when there's reasonable suspicion of a crime. You do not have to ID when there's reasonable suspicion of a crime. You don't have to. The Hibble statute, HIIBEL from 2004, I believe it was, which is in your trifold. If you are in what's called a stop and ID state and they have reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime, then you have to tell the cop how you identify. I identify as toilet plunger. you can call me that. You've told him how you identify. And that's all you have to say. Most people are going to say, I identify as good citizen, but whatever's written here, only when there's reasonable. No, you don't have to ID with reasonable articulable suspicion.
There's no such thing as that's fake. Do you see what's going on? Do you see this? I mean, do you see what's going on in our country right now?
Both the girls said they were over 30.
What's going on? Do you see this? I mean, do you see what's going on in our country right now?
I do.
It's not like we don't need protection and we don't need rights protectors and civil rights rights upholders and these things. But the whole terminology to law enforcement has now made it so that cops are hiding on the side of the road to get you. And they don't come out if someone steals your car, but they'll hide on the side of the road to give you a ticket. And it's created a war. I mean, most of the country now is against cops. 52% now. It no longer
I work in the field, Joseph. I totally understand, but I really do. I totally understand. But I will say one thing. At least I know this about me. I can walk anywhere in my city, anywhere in the city that I work in, without a badge and a gun, and I don't fear crap. I don't fear anybody out here because of the way I've treated people my whole career here.
I mean, I'm not going to run around saying how cops are good. You know that. I hate cops. This guy's, he said he could, he's helping me. He's on the phone. They posted on Facebook that they're looking into the incident. They didn't have to. I had an hour-long conversation with the guy. He could have hung up the phone and said, well, at least I shined him on for an hour. No, they actually publicized. Now, if you guys could just get your Facebook so people could leave comments, we would drop this video on there. That'd be great.
Some of the other ones, like you said, some of the other ones can't do that, but I can.
Right. Oh, I
Period, I can. Yeah, I can.
Oh, but you haven't treated anybody so bad where you'd put yourself out of sorts if you were just walking down the road and your car broke down. You wouldn't, because now, you know what they're doing now, Chris? They are now blurring out the faces of cops on body cameras. And you know why that is, right? Because there's so many people who hate police. Mm-hmm. I'm not a killer. Like, I really hate cops. I can't stand the policing, and I can't stand the whole law enforcement term. I hate them. I hate everything about it. But I don't wish you death. I don't wish you death.
But you as everybody else wants to be able to live in a state where you don't have to fear. You should be fearing us, and that's one thing.
You see it, Chris. It's happening. It's real. It is real. I'm terrified of cops. I toured the country 2022, went to Maine and back from California twice. And every city and state I stopped in, as soon as I went to their Facebook page, said, hey, I'm in town, everybody, flocks of people would come to me and tell me their stories of cops abusing them.
Yeah.
And you go, why is this happening? The Supreme Court has given our rights to police, where they can get you out of the car, they can hide on the side of the road, they can lie to you, they can deceive you, they can put you in cuffs based on detaining you when you haven't done anything wrong. And that makes it so I don't like you, and it's like, and then I talk to a guy like yourself who wants to be reasonable. You just said it yourself. You could get out of your car anywhere in Cocoa, Florida, and people there are not going to be like, oh, let's get that son of a bitch. Whereas Amy, she would have some problems.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you a quick story.
So he said, but for the other coppers, I don't actually think he was agreeing with me about Amy. He was saying, because he has a story he wants to tell. I originally thought, because I had to edit this, so I'd listened to it twice. So and then a DLZ Clips calling over there, he put the captions on, and then I put a little more into it, so we pass it back and forth. But he's not saying about Amy Moon. He's saying about his own story, because I triggered a thought in his mind.
And people there are not going to be like, oh, let's get that son of a bitch. Whereas Amy, she would have some problems.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to go take care of my promise. I'm going to go downstairs and do all this. But we were in London, England. And we were sitting on a bus, my wife, my two kids, and I. And the guy turns around and he goes, I know you. And I'm thinking, dude, I'm on a bus in London. How do you know me? That's what I'm thinking to myself. And he goes, you're a cop in Cocoa. You stopped me one night. I go, oh, great. What did I do? Will this be the one in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of London? He goes, you took care of this, you took care of that, you got me right home, you did all these other things. And my wife looked at me and goes, man, thank God you've always done that shit. And it happened again in Copenhagen, Denmark. We were sitting on our last night eating dinner.
That's pretty amazing. Chris,
and this whole family looked at me and goes, the mother knew me because I had I helped her kid who was sitting next to her when I was a school resource officer.
Chris, why don't you get rid of these, in the Seabury Commission, 1929, the Wickersham Commission, 32, 33, the Knapp Commission, 74, and in the Mullen Commission, the Knapp Commission in 1994, all of them say that the good cops know that they're bad cops. They know.
So I want you to notice what the gentleman whose video this is, he's putting it on his... He's saying Amy Moon illegally seizes registration by ordering the girls to get it. The girls also gave him his driver's license. You'll note later at the end, she tells the girls it's not their vehicle. So he's upset that his Fourth Amendment's been violated.
The Knapp Commission in 1994, all of them say that the good cops know that they're bad cops. They know, and every one of the commissions, it says the good cops sure do wish the bad cops would stop being bad cops.
We do.
Who has the authority to stop them, though?
Well, that's where two things come into play, in my opinion. This is very quick, off-the-cuff opinion. It comes from internally, where we do not. And I'm going to say one thing about my chief of police. So my chief is not from this county. He's not from this place. Did not grow up here. Has nothing to do with it. But he told us flat out. He goes, "Listen, I don't have any favors here. I'm not from here."
I just want to tell you right now, I'm going to listen to his stories and I'm going to push back twice as hard. I don't just accept this, my chief's good, my department's good, we don't have the worst canine cops in America. Every canine cop is a jackboot thug pig terrorist. But I don't put up with this. I push right back at Chris with even more vigor.
I'm here to do a job and we're going to do it the way I want it done, period. And he says, don't think there's any favoritism. And he has shown no favoritism. I mean, he tells you flat out, if you do this, he's going to fire you. If you do this, he's going to fire you. If you do this, he's going to suspend you. He doesn't play around about it at all. And I mean, he means business, and I appreciate that.
This video's just getting out. It's over statute of limitations, so I can't sue you guys. I just looked it up. You guys are 1 year statute of limitations on civil rights violations. But I
thought you had, when it came to light, with you coming to light, I thought you got a grace period of some kind.
No.
Because you just found it out, I thought.
Oh, man, you know what? Oh, God bless you.
Did you hear what he just said?
I'm almost positive when it comes to light, I mean, as far as I remember, as long as no one else has brought this about in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I believe you have a grace period to file it, but I think it's very short.
So did you guys...
Don't quote me on that.
Did you hear that? Chris has educated me that if the video has just come to light, your 1 year statute of limitations in Florida starts when you find out about the video. So the gentleman who sent this to me sounds like he still has standing for a federal civil rights lawsuit.
I don't need to be in trouble with you.
I'm a ChatGPT guy, so if you're not familiar with that, watch my video on ChatGPT. It'll help you so much.
I'm going to ask my kid about you is what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask my 17-year-old about you, because knowing him, he probably has listened to you or is tuned into your channel.
I am one of the most popular people in the country because of cops. That's why That's why. And I've grown like a weed because I'm not supposed to be doing this, man. I'm an executive. I just got tired of it. I got tired of people getting killed by the cops and no one having the education to take them on. This says the discovery of a video or any new evidence related to a potential crime, including police abuse, may impact the statute of limitations in certain jurisdictions. It may also, on various specific laws and regulations, wow. A law determines how long prosecutors have to file criminal charges. And new evidence
criminal may be out, but I'm almost positive your other part should be fine.
We could still go after her in a federal civil rights lawsuit.
Yeah, that's what I believe you can do.
You hear that?
All right, my turn. Joseph.
Did you hear what Chris just said? He's listen, if especially if you're going to call yourself a law enforcer, he's following the law, which is what we should all do. As long as the law is not tyrannical, the name of the channel is Delete Laws, because we have too many stupid laws on the books. None more stupid than Missouri Revised Code 300.405 that it's illegal to walk on this side of the road. That's ridiculous. Because if there's a law in the books, there's a cop ready to enforce it. But Mr. Bradshaw is following the letter of the law and educating me that the letter of the law and the spirit of the law is more important than the letter of the law. But he's explaining to me that the law says that if you just found the video, that's when it begins. That's when your statute of limitations begins. I looked it up.
Positive, your other part should be fine.
We could still go after her in a federal civil rights lawsuit.
Yeah, that's what I believe you can do.
Wow.
All right, my turn. Joseph, you get busy on your day. Let me go downstairs and get this moving. I'm going to see if I can find this report or this. You've got the video. So if you've got the video and it's that old, that means it's in our system for some reason. It's labeled in a way that it didn't go away, which is perfect, which is good.
We're not done.
There was a Brevard County case number here.
What is? Oh, give me that. Go.
Watch this.
Number 05-216-MM Mary-039922.
Hold on. Don't worry about the A's and the X's. They don't mean anything. Give me that last number past the MM.
MM-039922.
Perfect. The X's and the A's and the X's, they don't mean anything.
Okay.
I don't even know why they're there, but they don't mean anything.
I mean, Chris, this stuff literally makes my blood boil.
Obviously. I was listening to your blood boiling a few minutes ago.
Just like I want to help this person sue her, because the thing is most people don't know how to sue, and all I do is work as a conduit because I have so many people that follow my channels. And so I reach out to people in Florida. A lawyer reaches out to me, and I say, will you file for me? And they go, yeah, I'll file for her. And then I file a lawsuit against this chick, Amy Moon, Cocoa Beach.
And don't worry, if you go out and look me up on the internet, you'll find all kinds of nasty stuff about me. I got this lady who hates my guts, thinks I've done everything wrong in the world.
Oh,
it is what it is. I've been with this. I started with City in 2000. What am I saying? 2000. I started with the City. A friend of mine convinced me to come here, and then he decided, oh, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm like, you bastard. You tell me to come here, and then you leave me. That's what I told him. So if you go to, I don't know how much you've looked into this yet, but if you look into, write down Brevard County Clerk of Courts, or what we call backup, Brevard County Clerk of Courts, go there.
Now he shows me how to walk through the website to get the relevant information that I need. Chris Bradshaw did a good job. I mean, I'm not cop sucking. That's for damn sure. But he did show me the website, and now watch this. He's going to walk me through it finger stroke by finger stroke.
And when you log into their site, go to, I think it's called General Case Search or something. Let me see. Let me back up. I know you're all going to be closed. I don't need to know that. Under Public Record Search, you'll see Case Search. You click on that. Then you're going to want to hit the General Public, whatever that thing is, button up on the top. It'll be in red. And then you'll hit, yeah, submit. And then you'll go to General Public Court Record Search again. This is so dumb. And then go over to Case. Go to Case Number in your search options. And then
I'm on the website. You went to Clerk of Courts. Where'd you go first?
Okay, you go to Case Search. You'll see. Stand by. Let me go. All right. Let me go all the way back here to.
Records?
Yeah, it's Becca. Yeah. General Public Records, and you'll click that, and then what screen comes up next?
Brevard County Electronic Court Application. Copy.
Okay. You haven't seen the one that says Becca General Public Records, Public Court Records?
Yep, I got it. General Public Court Records.
Then the next one.
It's at the top. Becca, Brevard Electronic Court Application, BECA, Becca.
Just hit submit. It's just telling you all this crap about what you can and can't read. And then there's another. The next one will be a gray button, General Public Court Records again. And then up on top, look for no, don't do that, because you won't get it through there. You won't get her unless you have the victim. You won't have it won't work. Just go up there to the third one over where it says search options. Go to case number, and all you need to
go to the third one over. It says what?
It says case type. There should be a bar up there. It says person's name, business name, case type. Do you see that? Okay, click that and then put in the the year.
Oh,
then
I see.
Yeah, then the MM and then the 03. You don't have to put anything else after those 0399 numbers.
So
now, once you do that, the case will pop up.
039, what was the last two?
22. And then you'll see it in there, and this will be the case thing that you're looking at. This will give you what the state has on it. And this is misdemeanor first degree resisting officer of. Are you fucking serious?
He got
wow. They charged him with a crime.
They charged him with the crime and they arrested him. That's what happened.
Holy shit!
No. Hold on. Looks like she charged with a crime. All right, hold on. Let me see. I'm going to see as much as you, but I just want to see one thing. The top one should be the 92301. What I mean by 92301 is that's the arrest ticket, the very top one of all those documents, and it was her.
I got it pulled up. The defendant's name is.
So this chick, Amy Moon, she went over to his van, demanded him off the top of his van, and then arrested him. Do you understand that? You can beat the rap, but not the ride. She made him take the ride. And if this gentleman is just finding this video, I'm going to find a Florida attorney. You know, let's see if we can make a deal. Let's see if we can make a deal with Cocoa Police Department and the City Council of Cocoa Beach, of Cocoa, Florida. Let's see if we can cut a deal with them. And if they're not willing to cut a deal with you and this video is new and we have standing, I'm going to find a Florida attorney and I'm going to help you sue her. She needs to be listed on a federal civil rights lawsuit. When you look her up, Amy Moon has to be first on Google that she violated someone's rights in 2016. He just found the video in 2023 and she got sued. That's what has to happen. That's the only way so far. Transparency is the best way, but the only way so far.
Yep. So you have all that now.
Yeah, and then what was he where's this charge?
Go to when you're in your search results, you'll see that first line on the very top that says 9/5/2016. Do you see that where it says arrest affidavit?
Yeah.
Click on the little box next to it where it says view.
I'm in the description box. Oh, view. There it is. I see.
Yeah, click those little papers, and then do me a favor, keep your blood pressure low for a minute. Don't go. Just keep your blood pressure low, because you're going to see the name on the bottom. I don't need you going ballistic.
I'm not.
Because if you have a heart attack, I don't have any idea where to send people.
I have high blood pressure.
You need to stop having high blood pressure then.
I do have high blood pressure. That's a fact.
No,
This says
breathe, brother, breathe.
Female who appeared to be underage and an older male. Both the women identified themselves to Amy as 130 and the other 132. They both identified out loud, how old are you? She asked them in the first minute, and they both say their 30s. And then he says they were believed to be involved in drug activity and were on top of a white van. That's true, but they weren't involved in drugs. They were smoking weed at the most. But upon arrival...
No. So I gave a little too much leeway here because they were not involved in drug activity. There was no smell of marijuana. I said they were smoking weed at the most, but if there had been a smell of marijuana, Amy would have said that. So I actually was just kind of filling in blanks blindly and not thinking about what I said. But the truth is that there was no smell of marijuana. There was no drug use. There were no underage girls. There were consenting adults on the top of a van looking at a cloudy sky and enjoying the beautiful day. That's what was going on. I just want to be clear on that because I said that there could have been smoking weed, but that's not true. I mean, anybody could be smoking weed at any time. So I just don't want to misrepresent what this gentleman was doing because there was no marijuana smell. There was never an accusation of marijuana. I misspoke here. I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to do the best I can to be honest.
Rival defendant Nicholas Foda and a white female on the top of the roof van. There was a second white female sitting in the driver's seat. The occupants were asked to come off the roof to speak for safety reasons. No, you're ordering me around.
Nicholas. I'm going to call you Nicholas from now on instead of your username because I don't like it.
So defendants immediately became argumentative with me. Yeah, because they didn't want to give you ID because you don't have to. We don't live in a police state. I asked for identification to proceed with my investigation. You don't have the right to ask for ID. There's no probable cause. The defendant refused to comply with my request. Of course they did. It's their right to. He was asked at least 4 times to provide identification. At least one point he replied to me, I don't have to listen to a damn thing you're telling me. And he doesn't. Mm-hmm. He kept repeatedly asking why I was harassing him and saying that he didn't believe that I was a real cop, although I was in full uniform and driving a marked patrol car. He also kept saying this is not Nazi Germany, but that's how she pretended it was. Mm-hmm. Due to his behavior being outnumbered with police on...
Due to his behavior, Amy? Due to your jackboot thug pig behavior.
The scene and not knowing who I was still inside the van, the defendant was asked to sit down on the ground at least 5 times. I don't have to sit on the ground without probable cause. You're not allowed to order me around. That's not how it works. That's not even a Terry stop. A Terry stop has to have reasonable articulable suspicion and a singular articulable fact of criminality. He continued repeating the things mentioned. At the time the defendant was detained, he was taken into custody and transported to the county jail for just my body camera video in evidence.
Okay, that means that's why you still have it, because she labeled it as evidence, which means it won't. We have 80,000.
So, Nicholas, quick question for you. Nicholas, did you just discover this camera in 2023? I hope your answer is yes, but I'm not sure. So, Nicholas is the user in here. His username is this right here. This is Nicholas saying that Team DLZ, welcome everybody to Team DLZ. So I wonder if Nicholas is just finding this video and that would give him standing. That would give him standing. So let's keep watching the video.
1,000 videos that have been labeled as evidence from everything from we're going to have a dog encounter. So that's why it's still here, because we haven't gotten around to going back through and looking at all the ones that we have and putting their appropriate dates up. So that's really good, because generally by now this one would be gone because it's a misdemeanor crime.
No way. No way. Do you guys read this here? So Nicholas, who this is his username right down here, he's saying that he used the ChatGPT video that I produced to get the video from his arrest. That's how helpful that ChatGPT video is. This is the third person who's told me they've used the ChatGPT video to get their records. And Nicholas got his records. Nicholas, you now have standing for a federal civil rights lawsuit. I guarantee you a lawyer from Florida will reach out to me. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. A paralegal will reach out to me. Somebody from Florida who is able to write your documents will reach out to me. And for all the prosecutors and defense lawyers who I'm suing, this is how I do it. So no, I'm not writing Floyd Wallace's lawsuit. I'm helping. I'm participating. I understand the process, but it's not mine to write because I don't have a bar card and I don't have my... There's more to come here. I'm gonna keep that under my hat. There's a little surprise for you defense lawyers in Las Vegas. You decided to mess with the bull. You're gonna get the horns.
We only hold them for 7 years.
Can I get this
5 years? 5 years.
Oh, this is the body cam I'm seeing right here.
Yeah, you're looking at the body camera. You've got it. Now, if you need to know other things, because I'm going to say out loud that I'm assuming you're asking me this question of you're asking me, you want to know exactly how to get everything that the police department has, is I believe the question that you just asked me. So you need to make a records request for the CAD report.
Yep, got that.
You need to make, you need the CAD report. You want to see any well, don't say QPRs, but you want to see any quick property receipts. You want a list of any evidence that was taken and put into property and evidence. You want that list. That way you'll be able to know everything that the officer collected and kept or used.
A CAD report to call in.
The call in. You want that because it'll tell you all the officers that were either dispatched or sent there or should have been on scene or whatever. And you need to find out if any of them wrote reports. And computer-aided dispatch. If that's what you're asking me, yeah, computer-aided dispatch is all it is. I'm sorry, I'm speaking in jargon. I apologize.
I'll see
if I can find it. But I'll send you a thing on what you may want to do in the future as to how to ask for things.
Guys, helping.
Sure you cover all your bases. I don't know if you have any template like that, but I've got.
I mean, Chris Bradshaw is actively helping. He's helping citizens. His job is to be a rights protector, to uphold our civil liberties. And so far, I hope my face doesn't melt off here, but so far, he's doing exactly what his job is supposed to be. Their job is not to hide on the side of the road and to give you tickets. That is not the job of cops. People are like, oh, he's just doing his job. No, he's not. Chris Bradshaw on the phone with me right now is doing his job. I've asked him for information. He's given me information. He added knowledge to my brain that I didn't have previously. I didn't know that in Florida you can sue if the video just comes to light. And this gentleman, Nicholas, he's just getting the video. He has standing now. I didn't know that before I met Chris Bradshaw, who is a peace officer rights protector. And he's doing his job. I don't like cops. I'm not going to be cop sucking. If you think I'm going to be cop sucking, you came to the wrong place. A lot of the people who comment and are haters, I just say, what are you doing here? There's so many cop sucking pages. People will appreciate your comments, but you didn't take me down by calling me a narcissist. You didn't slow me down. Oh no, I got called narcissist again. Oh, I guess I'm going to quit this time, huh?
I've got one that I've seen from another person who requests everything in the world once a week. It seems like we're just so used to them. So we have, I kind of have a template.
Everybody.
Well,
you hear what he said here?
I'll send you a thing on what you may want to do in the future as to how to ask for things.
He's talking about requesting body cam footage, dash cam footage, demand for return of property.
To make sure you cover all your bases. I don't know if you have any template like that, but I've got one that I've seen from another person who requests everything in the world once a week. It seems like we're just so used to them. So we have, I kind of have a template.
Everybody.
Well, some do, some don't. And then some of them, unfortunately, we have some crazy ones that are just, if they even see a cop in the area, they do a public records request.
How do we know what happened with Nicholas?
Nicholas. Oh, because it doesn't say he was transported to the jail, does it? So let me see. Did she Well, no, she had to take him to the jail because she didn't ROR him, because there's no, if you look on the first page of that arrest affidavit, you'll see where it says mandatory court appearance, almost at the bottom. That would be filled in if she had released him on his, if she had ROR'd him, at least on recognizance. I can't ever say that word right. So let me see if there's anything else there. Probable. Okay, so here's the next thing you do. Go back to the internet and go to.
Well, you said CAD, and then the other thing is all the evidence.
You want to know you want to know any property that was collected and put into property and evidence.
What do you call it? QAD?
Quick property, just quick property receipts or property receipt. You just have to put property receipt. Don't worry about quick property receipts. You want to know. You want a copy of the property receipts of any evidence or any other items that were collected in reference to this case. All right, so let's go to Brevard County Sheriff's Office.
I hope you're close to retiring, Chris.
Nope, I'm not. I'm not. But I'm not. I do this because I love my job. I love what I do. I work with great detectives, and I still come out here every day to make a difference. That's my whole goal. Make that
your head held high, not abusing people. But there's so many cops today. They're blurring the body cam footage now, Chris. Why do you think that's happening?
I don't understand why they would do. I mean, I don't know why we do that. We're in the public view. I mean, I don't understand why somebody who's redacting a video would be doing that. That part doesn't make sense.
They're passing laws all over the country that the body cam footage will be redacted.
Let me tell you, in our state, body camera footage, there's certain requirements you have to even get some body camera. You got to have certain body cameras. You'll have to have damn near, it seems like, a court order some days. But they involve specific cases. They involve very specific cases.
But do you think that's a good thing? Don't you think there should be a third party that collects all camera footage, redact the kids' faces, and then release it to the public? Anybody feel pipe into Cocoa, Florida, 2729, and tap into that server and look at those. What I'd like to do is look through Amy's body cam footage for the last 3 years every day of every shift she went on, and that should be accessible to me just by logging into my computer.
What I said is I'd like to be able to log into Amy Moon's body cam footage every day for the last 3 years and see what she's done, and we don't have that opportunity. And Mr. Bradshaw here has told me on the phone just now that there's some body cam footage that you just can't get it without a court order. Well, why is that? I'm a constitutional law scholar. I could take a look at your body cam footage and let you know if there's a civil rights violation. A lot of you can't do that because you don't know what you're looking at. But when the police departments make it so that we can't get the body cam footage, then you have someone who's educated can't look at your footage. And you didn't even know how to get it because you didn't follow that ChatGPT video like Nicholas did.
Yes, but the only problem with that is the only issue that I could see with it, and let me put it from this point of view, for what you're doing specifically makes sense to me. I got that. But then we have other people that are doing it for malicious, that have malicious motives involved. And when we're looking at, a rape victim, or we're looking at a child victim, or we're looking at or elderly victims of certain things, where, that's where they kind of get very sticky on what is released and what isn't. Now, if you have something that's related to a cop complaint, like, the cop comes in and does X, Y, and Z, then, it's Chris Bradshaw's opinion, but that should be something that should be viewed by a third party, and viewed by a third party in the presence of, of not necessarily the officer, but a police officer to view it as you look at it, or put it up on the screen where you can look at the screen and there you go. And that's it. And then you're bound by what you can and can't talk about. Like if you hear the victim's name, you can't repeat it. If you hear this, you can't do that. Because we also, in our state, and I'm pretty sure you guys have Marcy's Law and all these other laws that have come up about everything. So that would be that would be the one thing that somebody needs to sit back and think about doing, and how you can cross those bridges to put more trust in the public.
You just redact all names and all faces, and the third party does it. And then I can look through Amy Brown's footage for the last 10 years of her career. And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why, Chris.
Amy Moon. I was raised with a girl named Amy Brown, so that's why I said that name.
I traveled the country, and what I found out, sadly, is that most people are, number one, uneducated, and number two, they are scared. They are afraid of police. So that means that, for example, for Tennessee, if someone says, man, you should see the body cam footage of what happened to my cousin. And then I go, well, get the body cam footage. He's, oh, my cousin doesn't even want to apply for it. He's scared.
Yeah.
I'm a law scholar. How can I see the footage and let you know if it's a civil rights violation? Like what Amy did to this kid, I guess he's not a kid anymore. I mean, I guess he was born in 1985. But, so he's not a kid. He's 40 years old, 38 years old. He's got to be pissed, dude. I mean, he probably got a criminal record from this. I mean,
now, did he contact? No, never mind. I don't answer that question. I don't need to know. I was just wondering. Somebody. That's good. That's good. I just didn't know how it come. So if you go to BavardSheriff.com, or just type this in Google. Type Brevard County Sheriff's Office inmate search. He's only in here one time, just so you know. He's only in BCS's booking one time.
Because he's not a criminal. Again, though, what Chris is going to do, he's going to walk me through the computer process of how to look up Nicholas's arrest record. And I do. I'm sorry I didn't put that in here. But as he's explaining it to me, I'm on my computer, and Chris is walking me through how to look up the information that I'm looking for. That is the definition of service. Then he brought this to the higher ups, and they posted on Facebook that Amy Moon is being investigated. That is the definition of service. Now, I don't know what Chris personally, I don't know what he has done. I have no idea. I can tell you this, though, on this hour-long phone call, he provided us, I'm a member of the public as you are, he provided us a service. You got to give credit where credit's due. If there's no path to redemption, then we would just all wish that cops were dead. And I don't. I don't wish any of these guys death. I hope they see the light. They come to Jesus and they realize that what they're doing is evil. And they turn the corner, and then they start talking about all the crappy things they're forced to do. If you are a jackboot thug pig, I don't wish you harm or death or anything untold. I hope that God touches your soul and you wake the fluck up. And you start to announce, I'm quitting this. Let me tell you what these jackboot thug pigs have made me do. Death is so final to me. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want to die. I don't want you to die. I hate some people. There's some people I hate. I don't wish them death. I'm going to F them up. I'm going to mess you guys up. You decide to go in the ring with a bull, you're going to get to horns.
He had long hair, apparently. And then you'll see, when you pull that up, you'll see name, put his last name in.
What booking right here?
Yeah, it's Brevard County Sheriff's Office inmate booking search.
Bookings, yeah, I got that. Oh, okay.
And then click there, and then, you can go to his, put his last name in, and it'll come up. So that's the next thing you can see there. That tells you when he came in. He was he went to jail on the 5th. He arrived at 7:41 p.m. He was released the following day at 4:30 in the afternoon, basically. He had an MMA warrant, and if we go back here, let me go back.
He had to stay in jail for 24 hours almost.
Kind of save you a little bit of headache. Okay, notice no information. That looks like they may.
I'm not showing you this, but Chris is walking me through a website right here, and I'm looking up who Nicholas is. I got a picture of his mugshot and everything.
have completely dropped the case also, but let me look and see. There's no information to State of Florida, and there, blah, 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 blah. State does not intend to file any information at this time on the criminal charges that were set above by her. So they dropped the, and Michael Bowen's the one who dropped the case. So they dropped the case on top of it.
Yeah, Chris, it's really funny. Thanks for this conversation with me. It's been a nice one. But, I'll tell you what made me the way I am, right, is, before there was a camera phone, I would be I'd be out everywhere all the time. I was always a real social guy. And I would see cops abusing people, and I'd be like, "Yo, you don't need to push his face into the concrete." And
right.
I'd be yelling at the cop, and I would get arrested.
Oh my God!
And this happened to me a dozen, 2 dozen times. I don't know how many times. When I see someone abusing someone else, because I got abused. So when I see someone abuse someone else, no matter what I want to do, I immediately put myself right in the middle of the scene. And the cops would arrest me for no reason, and then I would have no charges. I wonder how many of these people could look up on me all over the country. Oregon, Florida, Washington, California, Arizona, Texas, Minnesota. I've been arrested in all those states. So,
well, remember one thing about your passion.
I've never heard anybody.
No. I'm saying, when you're a passionate person like I am about things, and like you obviously are about things, just remember, sometimes we need to, I'm not telling you not to do what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. But always be that person that can always be there to record those things. What I mean by that is like...
Well, I am now, but I was arrested all those times before, Chris. All those times before. What made me the way I am now. And I'm a real... Look, I would love to have you get your email and reach out to you and talk to you some more. And, have you come on to the programming.
Oh, brother, I'd be stuttering and everything else. I could talk to you on the phone, but I couldn't do any of that stuff. I appreciate it, but I can always give you my opinion. You can always have it.
How far are you from retirement?
Really, I could retire in 25, but I got a kid, and I got an older one and I got a younger one, and as long as I'm working, they're covered under insurance up until they're 26. So I'm trying to get those two knuckleheads out on their feet and get them going the right way. And then once that happens, I'm going to retire. But again, as I'm upstairs, I get to educate, I get to help my guys up here, and I get to fix shit on the road because I can send reports back going, no, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? And I also...
So a lot of the times when a copper says what he's saying to me, a lot of times it's just lip service. And he's saying, I'm upstairs now, so I'm not out on the street anymore. Now I'm helping these young cops become better cops, is what he's saying to me. But then what he did was he publicly blasted Amy Moon, and publicly they put it on their Facebook page that she's being investigated. He's not just giving me lip service here. They made a public announcement on there. Now, why don't you guys get your Facebook page to open up so that people can comment? That'd be great. And then I could post this video on there so people could see it themselves. And then Amy Moon should be suspended for a month without pay, maybe even fired for wrongfully arresting somebody for absolutely no reason. But he didn't just say, I'm upstairs and I'm the brass now. He said, I'm the brass now. And then he publicly said they're investigating Amy Moon. That's service. That is service. I guarantee you the other cops are going to be mad when they hear this, that he provided a fair service.
I teach, and one of the first things I get that I teach these guys when they come in is I teach the ethical part of stuff, and then I teach them their body cameras and stuff like that, and I say, listen, this thing right here will save your ass more than you will ever believe. And I said, anybody who tells you otherwise, don't be around them. This fucking camera will save your ass because you'll be the public. And everybody else will be able to see. And yeah, will they scrutinize it? Yeah, but you know something? And I tell everybody, that camera saved more cops' jobs and vindicated them. But in the same breath, it has also gotten rid of a ton of our problems.
So we're on opposite teams, bro. So the fact that we be cordial and kind to each other, it's fine. I don't treat anybody bad. It doesn't treat me bad. So, but you think that the cameras catch more people lying about cops than there are bad cops?
No. What I was trying to convey is Yes. No, let me say this to you. I can tell you when I was downstairs in internal affairs, I'm going to say at least 7 cases that I can remember right off the bat from last year. 7 cases. The people came in and made these crazy long, off the wall, complaints on these officers, and the body cameras were running. I'll give you one of them as a traffic stop. It was a traffic stop. The guy cut his camera on before he even made the stop. The other 3 officers that showed up, all their body cameras were on. You read this complaint that this person wrote. They said they came up, tried to pull me out of the car. I told them no.
Okay, so I want to point something out here. So do you see the search that they're doing on Nicholas's van? That's a 4th Amendment violation. That's a civil rights lawsuit you're seeing right there. They're illegally searching his van. They don't have a right to search his van because there's no probable cause. You probably don't know that because you didn't study this stuff for years and years and years. But when the police, with the help of Republicans and Democrats, limit our ability to see the camera footage, then you can't get someone like myself who can go, wait a minute, they wrongfully arrested him, now they're illegally searching his car? That's a 4th Amendment violation. That's a federal civil rights lawsuit. You can't search someone's car without probable cause. That's not how this works at all. You're not allowed to do that.
I wasn't getting out. Then he ordered me out of the car, telling me that I'm the police and you're going to do exactly what I say. And I mean, and I'm being dead serious. This guy went on and on and on. You go back and you watch the video, and nothing happened. The only thing that the one officer did wrong, and listen, I'm not liked in this agency because when you become an internal affairs officer, people don't like you. You don't get invites to all your shit because you're the one policing them. But I watched that whole video on all the body cameras that were there from beginning to end, and the only thing that I went and I spoke back to 2 of the officers about, I said, let me tell you something. Do not engage. Do not get sucked into arguing with people. Do your job and be done with it. He got you all at the end. He started nipping at you, and you all nipped back with your exchange of words. I said, but the best thing is that when the canine officer showed up and told you all to get in your car and leave, that's the best thing that happened. I said, you guys cannot let people incite you with these little nip and words things. You followed all the procedures and all the policies and all the state laws, and I give you all credit on it. But at the very end, all of a sudden, you all wanted to bicker back and forth about things. We're not there to bicker. Do your job. Get it done. If you're going to write him a ticket, and get the fuck out. Let's go. We're not going to sit here and debate the color of air, okay? We're not going to debate those issues. And so that is where probably in at least 7 cases I remember from last year before I got moved, I read the complaints, and then you know what I did? I called the complainant back and I say, hey, can you come in? Do you mind coming in? I want to watch the video camera. I want to watch the video with you because I want to make sure I'm not missing anything that you wrote in your complaint. And I've had people, they come in, we sit at my desk, I turn on the camera, and I go, all right, let's watch it. And we watch the whole stop, or we watch the whole interaction or everything, and I go, I can't find what you wrote here in this video. Where is it at? Am I missing it? Or is there a perception? What's the issue? And then they're like, oh, well, and I said, you were probably really angry. I said, but I called you in because I want you to know that this isn't just, I'm blowing this off. Here's the video. Here's this. And that's one of the cool things. But you know what the problem is? We have a lot of that never, ever happen, where somebody will not do what I like to do. They will not come in and talk and listen and convey messages and stuff like that.
So, when I talk to guys like you, and you're personable and affable, and I like you as a person on the phone. You've been an amazing human being. So when I talk to guys like you, I used to have this idea in my head.
Used to.
That you honestly just didn't know.
Didn't know.
You just don't know.
You don't know.
I in 2022, I interviewed lots of cops when I traveled between here and Maine and back. And I talked to lots of cops. And I talked to a guy like yourself who's affable and gregarious. And I would feel like, man, Chris, they're just pulling one over on Chris. He doesn't know. Like, he doesn't know that half the cops on Cocoa, Florida Police Department are carrying drop guns. He doesn't know. He doesn't know half the cops are carrying drop drugs. He just doesn't know. And now, Chris, I'm a little bit more mature than that. I've been doing this for a couple of years now where I'm in the field. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe you. I think that you do know. I think that you know there's so many bad cops on your force. And I'm sure that in your heart, you really wish you could get rid of them, because you don't sound, if you can walk around with your head up in Cocoa, Florida, then you're probably not a bad guy. But those guys couldn't. At least half of them are carrying drop guns and drop drugs. And you know it, and I know it. You know it, Chris.
I'll say this. Let me say this. Guns, carrying drop guns, we search vehicles. One of the things I did was I would do spot inspections. I'd search a vehicle front to back, up, down, and sideways.
Chris,
if you've got a gun in your car and I find it, you're
going
to be in some serious trouble. Number one. Now, drop drugs. I don't know any.
Listen, say it again.
With drop drugs, I mean, we've never had somebody complain and tell us that. I mean, I can't say that that's not necessarily true. When I was in that position,
I don't accept this as truth. You're going to hear me say it. I don't believe you.
Downstairs, and all the complaints I dealt with and looked at, no one ever came in and said that we had planted drugs on anybody. Now, and don't misunderstand. I'm not saying it doesn't occur, because we flat out know it occurs, because cops get arrested for it every day.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's a good percentage of your cops right in your department who have drop drugs and drop guns on them. And just so you know, Chris, you don't find them in the car. They're dropped when they step on their own tie and end up with their tongue in the concrete, and they have killed somebody or shot somebody who didn't have a gun, or they've arrested somebody for drugs and there was no drugs in the car and they plant the drugs.
And then they reach down on their ankle, they reach down on their thigh, they reach in their armpit, and they pull out that drop gun. That's how it goes. And I don't buy a word of it that Chris doesn't know that there's police on the Cocoa, Florida Police Department that carry drop guns and drop drugs.
That's in every police department in America. So which are the guys on your force that are doing it?
I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. If I find them, I can tell you what's going to happen. Those handcuffs, those torture cuffs, they'll go on them, because I'll be the one putting them on them.
He called them torture cuffs, bro.
Which are the guys on your force that are doing it?
Listen.
I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. If I find them, I can tell you what's going to happen. Those handcuffs, those torture cuffs, they'll go on them, because I'll be the one putting them on them. I can tell you that right now. I don't play those games.
When I meet guys like yourself, I want to get hope again, and the people who I interview, when I interview cops and they're sitting in their cars and they put on this good face, and then we find out later that the same cop I interviewed that gave everybody hope was under felony indictment for hurting somebody. And I was like, his name was Adam Hanna out of Colorado. And
who lost his badge?
Happened to be in Colorado, happened to walk by this dude who they actually called to investigate me. The prosecutor's office thought that I had maybe cut a deal with this guy and wanted to make him look good in a good light, because I'm a real hostile person towards cops.
You're a passionate person towards cops. You're not hostile. You're passionate.
Oh, you haven't seen my videos. I'm pretty aggressive.
You're still a passionate person. You care about what you're doing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you go look me up, online, you'll see that I got labeled as a, what was it I got labeled as? I got labeled as a profiler cop. I got labeled as a profiler or something. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But basically what had happened was this guy I stopped.
Brevard? No, it's Brevard County. What's your last name?
Yeah, Bradshaw. Bradshaw. So if you look me up, you'll see that I got labeled as I want to say it was a profiler cop. And what it was is this guy I'd stopped. He nearly caused 2 traffic crashes, and then came off the interstate, not the interstate, but the highway, and nearly ran off into the median. So I stopped him, and he was speeding. I said, I get up to him, and the whole time he's going, I swear to God, 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 I swear to God. That's all he kept saying.
I know.
And so I go back, I do the ticket, I come back, and I go, he says it to me again. I said, sir, listen. And this is the voice I gave it to him in. I said, sir, listen, you can pray to God, you can pray to Allah, it doesn't matter. You broke these traffic laws, and I'm only writing you this one citation, and that's it. And it's a fix-it ticket. I believe it was a fix-it ticket, which means he goes and he gets the equipment fixed. I think it was like his headlight or his backlight or whatever. But I mean, I said, listen, you got to calm down, you got to slow down. You ran 2 people off the road, but here's a fix-it ticket, and that's it. I turned around and I walked away from him. Well, I got written up.
He got written up. So I want to give you guys the fair perspective of Chris Bradshaw so that you guys can see the case text of the case that he was involved with. And I looked this up the other night, and I want to show it to you guys again. So let me see what you guys can see. Let me open this big. And this is about Chris Bradshaw. This is case number 605CV471 Oracles-31 KRS. This case arises out of the event surrounding the death of Willie Kimbrough. Kimbrough plaintiff has filed claims under 42 as well as Florida statute 768.16 wrongful. This matter comes before the court. Motion summary judgment filed by certain defendants and the plaintiff. The pair's pleadings are follows. William Gregory motion for summary judgment and the plaintiff's response thereto. Walter Barker's motion for summary judgment and the plaintiff's response hereto. Terrence Glover's motion for summary judgment and the plaintiff's response thereto. Michael Badarak's motion for summary judgment. And so it goes here. And now here's the case that involves Mr. Chris Bradshaw. The parties are relevant entities. The plaintiff, Joanne Kimbrough and Willie J. Kimbrough Sr. are Kimbrough's parents and are co-personal representatives of the estate of Kimbrough. They bring this action on behalf of the survivors of the estate, including Ashanti Kimbrough, Victor Fisher Kimbrough, and DeAndre Michael or Sean White, the minor surviving child. Officer Terrence Glover, Officer Terrence Glover, Lieutenant William Gregory, Corporal William Baker, and Officer Michael Baddock, Officer Greger, Officer Lane, collectively the defendants were police officers at the time relevant to this action employed by Cocoa Police Department. Donald Dobson was the booking officer. Late in the evening on November 30th, 2002, Kimbrough went to the Shadows Lounge in Cocoa, Florida with Alvin Adderley. Kimbrough and Adderley were in the parking lot of Shadows when Kimbrough left Adderley to walk across the street and talk to a woman. Less than 5 minutes passed before Adderley heard sirens and turned around to see Glover and Cox approaching Kimbrough from behind. Glover yelled, "Turn around," and Kimbrough turned around and gestured with both of his hands up in the air to indicate what? Badarak then came up from the side and tackled Kimbrough to the ground, jumped on his back, then picked him up and threw him on the ground. Glover alleges that he discovered Kimbrough was attempting to break into a car in a nearby trailer park. How many times have we heard that? He's breaking into cars. He chased Kimbrough and that Kimbrough threw a brick or a rock at him. However, on a motion for summary judgment, the court must resolve all factual disputes in favor of the non-moving party, Anderson versus Liberty. Therefore, the court will assume that Adderley's testimony is true, which makes it unlikely that Kimbrough had time to be in the trailer park at all. Glover then came over and began to kick Kimbrough and knee spiked him while he was on the ground. So what did I say earlier? Do you remember earlier when I was interviewing Mr. Bradshaw, I said that there's cops on your department who are carrying drop guns. There's cops on your department who are carrying drop drugs. We can see that this group of pigs tracked down Kimbrough and killed him, murdered him, dropped a knee spiked him is what they call it. That's a new term. It's a knee spike. I mean, a knee spike. So now let me keep reading this so you guys understand what Bradshaw's involvement was. And the arresting officer blocking the... Okay, so right here it says, by this time, 6 to 10 patrol cars had descended upon the scene and were parked in a circle around Kimbrough and the arresting officer, blocking the view of most bystanders. Witnesses heard Kimbrough screaming that he was in pain and begging for the officers to stop beating him. The officers continued to beat Kimbrough for approximately 6 minutes, even though he was handcuffed on the ground and not resisting. 3 officers were seen beating Kimbrough with nightsticks and dragging him along the ground. At least 4 officers were on top of Kimbrough when Gregory arrived on the scene, and Kimbrough was saying that he could not breathe. Badarak admits to using 2 spike knees on Kimbrough. One witness has stated that Kimbrough appeared too weak to comply with officers' demands to get up. When he was placed in the patrol car, he fell out looking limp as if he was dead. Even after Kimbrough had been pulled up to a standing position, one of the officers performed another knee spike on him. As Kimbrough was being put in the patrol car, Gregory calls Badarak, almost running him over to get where Kimbrough was, and Badarak admits that Kimbrough was taken to the ground for a second time. Officer Chris Bradshaw, this is the cop who I'm interviewing, while putting Kimbrough into a patrol car, noticed that his legs were in shackles and heard Kimbrough say that he needed to catch his breath. Kimbrough told Bradshaw that he needed help to get to his feet to get into the patrol car. Bradshaw noticed Kimbrough had a severely swollen black eye. It is unclear at which point the defendant arrived on the scene. However, the evidence clearly established that all defendants were on the scene to observe the arresting officer holding Kimbrough on the ground and therefore would have been present for at least the second takedown. Badarak admits to using 2 knee spikes on Kimbrough, and Baker admits to spraying him in the face with a chemical agent, all while he was on the ground. After the arrest and beating, Kimbrough was brought to the Cocoa Police Department for booking. Dobson observed Kimbrough being brought into place in the cell, but did not book him. Emergency medical technicians arrived at the station at approximately 11:50 p.m. to examine Officer Glover, who was not yet there. Emergency medical team member Phil Butler looked into Kimbrough's cell and saw him laying on the floor of his cell with his pants around his ankles. Calling out for an officer to help him, Butler smelled an odor of feces coming from Kimbrough's cell. Even though EMTs were at the station for over 15 minutes waiting to examine Glover, they were never asked to examine Kimbrough. No help was given, even though Kimbrough had a severely swollen black eye and had crapped himself. He had been sprayed in the face with a chemical agent and had mentioned he had asthma. Within a few hours of arrest, Kimbrough was transported to the Brevard County Detention Center without ever being seen by a medical professional. On December 4th, 2002, Kimbrough bonded out of the dungeon, and family members brought him to Cape Canaveral Hospital. He was diagnosed with acute renal failure, secondary to rhabdomyolysis, and a history of hepatitis and electrolyte abnormalities secondary to his I don't know how to say that word. Kimbrough was placed on dialysis, but unfortunately pronounced dead at 5:07 p.m. So somewhere along the line here, right, Officer Bradshaw had the opportunity, and this is something that I'm going to do as governor and that everybody here could so easily agree with. When number one, chemical sprays need to be banned from cops. I need to take away the electric taser and take away the chemical spray, unless it's for a severely emergency situation. And then if a chemical spray is used, they have to give that person milk and water and medical attention to get the chemical spray out of their face immediately. As soon as the order has been restored, they have to immediately render medical aid. So it sounds to me like Bradshaw was involved in this in some way. His name doesn't come up very much anymore throughout this, but he had Kimbrough in his arms, and he's noticed that, and hopefully I can get another conversation with him, but I just wanted to show you this because, you heard Mr. Bradshaw explain how he was a good cop, that he could walk around the city with his head held high. However, there's a situation here that would require a little bit of input from Mr. Bradshaw to find out exactly what your role was in that situation with Kimbrough, who died. And I think that's only fair because I wanted to show you guys the entire picture of exactly what Bradshaw has been involved with. But again, we're still talking about Nicholas in his van. And the cop saying, "Come down here, I want to talk to you." Man, I'm telling you guys, she can't ask you another question once you invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. The police cannot question you any further. Not a single question. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? All those things it says on the, don't ask me where I'm coming from, where I'm going, where I've been, if I've been drinking, if I have a gun. I'll take no tests, no searches or seizures, use the address of my ID. I'll give no additional information. Everything I need to provide by law is in the slip below. This is the slip I'm talking about. And so, but none of these things have to be said if you immediately invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent the moment you have any interaction with the jackboot thug pig. And people have got to learn this, and you've got to know this, because if I have to continually tell you guys that you have got to invoke your Fifth Amendment right, then it's too late.
Because I said the word Allah. And I was labeled as a profiler, well, whatever. But I mean, I said, listen, you got to calm down. You got to slow down. You ran two people off the road, but here's a fixed ticket, and that's it. I turned around and I walked away from him. Well, I got written up because I said the word Allah. And I was labeled as a profiling, whatever they call me. I got labeled as that because I said the word Allah.
Well, remember, and I'm certainly not taking anybody's side here, but remember, they called me a racist on TikTok. You go to my website, deletelaws.com, where you get your trifold, and it says right on the front of my website, defining the history of institutional racism on a timeline. So I guess for me to be racist, I would have to resent that we created laws against blacks and now they're applied to all of us. Or it could be that I was warning the black community about Terry versus Ohio, and that's why I went to TikTok first. Could be that. Could be that. Could be that the reason I don't have a dozen trifolds anymore is because every giant black dude I meet, I say, take this with you, bro. Take this Broccoli Wad magazine and then watch all my videos on the trifold. So him saying Allah, I'm not taking up his side saying that he's right. I'm just saying that people, when they want to destroy you, they can just make it up. Remember, they called me a racist. When you go to my website, it says defining the history of institutional racism. So if I'm a racist, why am I telling black folks that the laws were created against them? Why would I do that? To hide my racism.
Now, the other thing that if you go, you'll find on me is that I was written up and investigated for an inappropriate relationship that I had with a convicted felon, which I did, and I told the investigators, everybody I did it, I had an inappropriate relationship. But in the internal affairs, they said that well,
what does the convicted felon look like?
This woman that I had this interaction and affair with was ultimately arrested for defrauding the elderly. And now, for whatever reason, 7 years or however many years later, now it's like this one person who can't stand me has gone about the business of going, oh, well, FDLE should have been called in. He should have been investigated. He should have been fired. I never had anything to do with that. I just had an inappropriate relationship with somebody. I had no idea what else they were doing, and I didn't have any idea. But those are my mistakes. Those are my issues. And I can tell you one thing: every time I fuck up, I go, I did it. Right here, this guy. Ain't gonna even argue about it. Don't need no union rep. I did it.
Zach Wester was amazing, dude. Zach Wester down there in Florida, you know who he is?
The name sounds really familiar, but give me some more information. Maybe I'm
gregarious, personable, super likable guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he planted drugs on dozens of people.
See, that's bullshit.
He's doing some prison time, only like 10 or 12 years or something. He should have got 100 years. But he was such a piece of garbage. And I just Chris, I want to believe you're one of the good guys, man. And I really like talking to you, man. You're an awesome dude. You really gave me good information. You helped me a lot. So
that's me. What you see today is what you get any day of the week. Any day of the week. That's the person you see is the person you get. My wife will tell you this. He can tell life to an Eskimo.
Well,
I'm a friendly guy, dude. That's just
well. So
this is the way I am.
All right, why don't you do something else?
Because I love coming in every day and making one person happy. I love coming in and making one victim happy as much as I can.
You think you make one victim happy every day?
I try to. I try and change. I try and help a victim every day at least. Because I'll take cases from my detectives, but I try and make a difference in somebody's life every day. I was an SRO for 5 years at Cocoa High School. Out of those 5 years, I've still got...
Do you believe him? I'm just curious what the crowd thinks. Do you believe him? Do you believe him? Put a 1 in the chat if you don't believe him. Put a 2 in the chat if you do believe him. Put a 1 if you don't believe him. Put a 2 if you don't believe him. I'm sorry, put a 1 if you don't believe him. Put a 2 if you do. So I'm just curious. Put a 1 in the chat if you do not believe him. Put a 2 in the chat if you do. So 1 is you do not believe. 2 is you do believe. I'm just curious how many people believe him. So David believes him. And then Liquid Zero said, I believe that he believes. Special Ed Andrew does not believe him. Mikey B said he's a pig, which is, you did sign up to a Death Star, Chris. So Dr. Donna said she's having a hard time believing him. The Secure Our Rights official saying he's having a hard time believing him. Joe does not believe him. So, Mr. Bradshaw, this is the problem that you're up against, is that the Delete Laws Clips believes him. Delete Laws Clips believes him that he wants to do a good job. Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, right. So Seldwin said that they believe him, but they wouldn't trust him. But I wouldn't trust him. So, you know, with Kimbrough dying and he's the last guy to have him in his arms, that's a, And then Scott Garrison has a good point. He's saying that he believes him and he's following up on the complaint that I filed verbally over the phone. Now, I took a couple things out of this chat that didn't belong in here because Chris shared some personal information with me that was just between he and I. And I'm actually a guy's guy, and I don't want to share stuff that he told me. But the question is now, here's the question. Here's a more appropriate question. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Chris is going to face repercussions for having a fair conversation with me. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he's not going to face repercussions. If you think he's going to face repercussions, put a 1 in the chat. For having a fair conversation and offering me a fair service, do you think he's going to face repercussions? Do you think other cops in Cocoa, Florida police are going to say that he's a bad guy? He could have easily just taken my complaint over the phone, never said anything about Amy Moon, but instead they posted on their Facebook page that they've opened an investigation. So he's going to face repercussions. Chris, I'm sorry you're going to face repercussions for this. However, I'm all about transparency. My life has been dissected by thousands of people for anything I've ever done. So I feel as though everybody should be dissected. I feel like everybody should have to face transparency. Everybody should have to face transparency for what they've done or what they haven't done. Everything's online now, so you can't hide what you've done. You cannot hide. Dustin and Bright both think that he's not going to face retribution for what he's done. So, and Special Ed Andrew said that he's gonna face it. He'll be lucky if they don't take him to end of the fishing pier. Walk the plank. So, these are things that people have to face when they decide to join a Death Star. Remember, the cops are afraid of other cops. The cops don't want to piss off the guy above them because the guy above them could hurt them.
Got 7. I call them my 7 adopted children, who have all graduated, who are all in their 20s and in their late 20s, getting ready to turn into their 30s, and they all still come to the house, come and hang out, and still all the stuff that we have because of the bond I built with them. And there are community leaders in this city that, I ask them, what do we need? When somebody needs something done, a lot of times they'll call me for me to come and help them because they know I'll go get the shit done. I get it done. We're not going to sit here and pawn it off. I used to be with our Cops and Kids program. I used to be with our community resource program, our community engagement. That's what I've done because that's the guy I am. Shit, I got a culinary degree. That should tell you the kind of person I am alone right there. Is that, I've been in that giving manner my whole life.
But Chris, hold on a minute. Just so you know, I'll be honest. I'm a nationally known activist. I'm a huge channel. I tell my people that all cops are jackboot thug pigs, and they're all on the same team, the blue team, and their job is to pull you over, kidnap, torture cuff you, and take you to a dungeon and steal your money. That's what I tell my flock about you. So how am I now to believe that you don't toe the thin blue line?
The only thing I can do,
the
only thing any of us can do that do this and who are...
You wear a blue stripe flag?
No, I don't have any. My kid's got them in his room. I have thin blue line stuff all over the place. Yeah, I got that. I've got it. I don't wear it.
Well, let me help you out, my friend. We hate it. We see it as a gang symbol.
Put a 1 in the chat if you hate the thin blue line.
Mm-hmm.
And but you can't just that and then me wear my red bandana in the south side of Chicago. That's not how it works. You don't just go, that's how you feel. No. That's the same as that south side Chicago cop seeing guys in red and blue bandanas both streaking through the alley. That's how we see it. And you don't get to sidestep it. It's atrocious. It is the giant abyss between us that you guys would hold and choose a gang symbol when there's so many millions of us, not just a couple. And I tell you, look, I've been respectful to you, haven't I? I haven't treated you poorly.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to keep your blood pressure down, but go ahead. Keep going. I just don't need you stroking out on the phone with me. That's why I said you're passionate.
It's a fair thing to say.
So, but how do you tote that around or sport that or have your kids sport it, knowing it's just dividing line. It is the dividing line. If you walk in wearing that blue stripe, so say I come to Florida and I say, man, this really cool cop over there in Cocoa, and I'm going to go over there and meet with you, and you come in to meet with me to have a burger with me and a beer, and you're wearing a blue stripe flag, I'll wear a shirt that says "fuck the police."
I got one of those at the house.
Right, but it's appropriate for me to do to you. I mean, if we're going to be friends.
But let me say this to you, for what it's worth.
The gang.
Your beliefs, not beliefs. When we talk about the shirts in the thin blue line, everybody out there has their own symbol, in their own symbol of whatever symbol things they need, whatever semblance of being able to say, this is who I am. I don't want to argue I won't argue with somebody over a color of a bandana, a blue stripe, a pink stripe, a purple stripe, a green stripe, or whatever. That right there cannot, in my opinion, cannot be the beginning to rectify the underlying deep problem. I mean, okay, so here's a color, here's a flag, here's a this, here's that. But okay, so I take it away. But if I can't persuade, or if I can't convince, or if I can't help change your internal belief system, whatever's on the outside of your shirt or your pants or your house or your car doesn't mean anything. I need, for what I try and do is that I try and present to people who I am, what I am, and how I am not a robot. I have sat in roll calls and argued with administrators about things they tell us to go.
It's taken everything I have not to interrupt him, but he gave me the floor to speak. I'm trying to have a respectful dialogue with somebody, but this is all cop-splaining why you should be able to wear a gang symbol and we should just be okay with it, and we're not. Just like in the 80s, you couldn't wear a red or blue bandana downtown Chicago or you were a gang member, period. There's no two ways about it. You cannot wear a blue striped flag. You cannot wear a thin blue line and say you're not on a gang. You are in a gang, and you're a dangerous gang that has no third party to investigate you. He said he looked through cars earlier for drop guns. I don't believe you, Chris. I'm sorry. Don't believe you. Did you pat those cops down? Because I guarantee you, if I isolated a couple of cops and I could actually have dominion over their person, I would find the drop guns and I would find the drop gun. But don't sit there and tell me that wearing a gang symbol is okay, and it's not.
One administrator told us to go do it, and this was probably 10 or 15 years ago. I looked at him and I said, I won't do it. And I said, if you're ordering me to do it, put it on paper, and then you better get the write-up ready, because I'm not going to do it. And I said that in front of a room full of cops, and I said, I don't give a shit what anybody else in there does. That is not going to happen with me, period. And then I looked at him, I go, are we done here? Yeah, I said, because apparently you all need to have a conversation. I don't need to be in the room for it. And I fucking walked out, got in my car, and went out and did my goddamn job. But if this symbol,
which brings me to the next question, went out on the street and did my job. What's a cop's job? What's the definition of what a cop is supposed to do? This is a fair question that we all need to answer, because then I don't need you saying, oh, he's just doing his job. His job is to not hide on the side of the road and give me a ticket. His job is not to ticket me. That's not his job. His job is to uphold public safety and to uphold your rights. That's what a cop's job is. I'm going to go out on the street. I'm going to go to Las Vegas, go to the Las Vegas Boulevard, wear my Constitutional Law Scholar t-shirt, and just ask people, what's a cop's job? And you're going to find time and time again that most people, 90%, 95, 99% of people, when I say what's a cop's job, they don't say it's to uphold public safety and to uphold your rights. They don't say that. They think a cop's job is to hide on the side of the road and get you. You need to tell your friends and family that's not their job. He's not just doing his job. That's not what he's doing. He's being a tyrannical jackboot thug pig. So, and now Chris is going to validate his gang symbol here, and it takes everything inside of me to bite my lips to listen to him.
Damn job. But if this symbol is the symbol is not the deeper rooted concern. It's the belief system. No. It's your belief system. It's my belief system.
No. And I couldn't interrupt him because I was trying to be polite, but this is not true. It says across there, the symbol is not the deeper rooted concern. Yes, it is, Chris. Yes, it is. You wearing that thin blue line tells me that you're on a gang and you don't ever want to leave your gang affiliation. Because you can wear that thin blue line in Connecticut, in Tennessee, in Florida, in Alaska, in Hawaii, in Maine, in Oregon, in Washington, in Montana. You can wear your gang symbol, and then other gang members will recognize you. And if you've done something wrong, those gang members will protect you. So it is not the symbol that's the deeper rooted concern. It is the symbol that is the deepest rooted concern. It is their Allah. It is their God. It is their Jesus. It is their salvation, is being a part of a gang, Chris. And any sort of shading or slighting or diminishing of those facts, you're going to see me push back. I'm not taking a ride along. Look at me in a bulletproof vest.
It's the belief system. It's your belief system. It's my belief system. It's the assumed belief system that every cop in the world or every cop in the United States is X, Y, is A, B, C, D, and E, and F, and we're not. We're all different people. Do we have bad apples in every bunch? Absolutely. Do we have bad apples in the world of activism? Yeah, we do. But you know what? The only way we can ever get back to a spot where we have balance is when everybody can sit down and begin to make a change and talk. But then the hardest part of it is, and this is what doesn't happen a lot of times, there's no follow through from anybody. That's the problem.
You know, there's 3 or 4 things I could go back on, but I don't want to go back on it.
No, don't go.
Well, I mean, number one, you can't say sport in a gang. So let me tell you the difference between my interactions with police who are wearing symbol, who are just wearing their badge. There's a big difference between how I treat those 2 different people. If I come on the scene and you're wearing a gang symbol, you're going to get, and I'm not nice to you. I'm going to be rude and mean and hostile and aggressive. Okay. And I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just taking you on. I'm taking on a gang member in the streets on camera. My weapon is that I'm filming you. That's my whole weapon, okay? So you can't say that your gang symbol doesn't matter, because if I meet you in real life, Chris, and you're wearing a gang symbol, I'll say to F off. Like, get away from wearing that. Like, I want to be connected to you, and I want to know you, and I want to be your friend. Hopefully you're here to protect and serve. And then the second thing is, you said it doesn't go to the hard underlying problem. What is that? And then the third thing, you said I'm going to go out and do my job. What is your job?
I don't want to cut you off. I don't know if you want me to answer that, or I was waiting to see if you had any more.
No, what I want to know that, like, those 2 things. What is the underlying problem? What's the hard problem?
Well, no, the underlying problem, what I believe, the underlying problem is that we have now just started within the last few years to really start opening up, where in the world of copdom, it's always been, there's a wall. And one of the first things you learn in the academy, I mean, I'm working on my master's right now, and, one of the papers that I've been dealing with and writing about is that us versus them mentality that's been around forever. The problem is that until some of these old...
Mullen Commission. It's in the 1994 Mullen Commission. You can get it on my website, Delete Laws. It's free. I don't sell it. Just read the Mullen Commission, and then I'll let you know what tell me what I think about your Internal Affairs Division.
Okay. See, and that's another thing. I don't take offense to any of it, because you have a God-given right to every one of your opinions, and
it's not an opinion. The Mullen Commission is a 3-year study done by federal judges and prosecutors who gave certain police immunity for their testifying under oath or testifying to the commission. So it's not my belief system. The simple fact of the matter is that Internal Affairs is inept, that they will cheat constantly. And let me just throw in a caveat here. You guys know that Jesse Sandoval hurt me and has caused permanent hand damage with my nerves in my hand. So I hit up the Citizen Review Board of Las Vegas and I said, hey, are you guys going to do anything? Had a pretty tumultuous email, couple emails back and forth. And they said, well, you can go ahead and request what we've done. So I requested their last 10 cases from the Las Vegas Review Board. 10 cases, complaints filed, which to get your complaint filed, you have to go through a lottery system. And then they pick out 10 cases. Well, 1 case at a time. And then they picked out the 10 cases. Of the 10 cases that the Las Vegas Review Board has reviewed, 10 cases have been dismissed. So there's no third party. There's no third party, and any illusion of it is exactly that. delusion and illusion. And this guy's sitting here telling me that it's my opinion. Chris, it's not my opinion. It's at least a 3-year study from one commission that piggybacked on the 74 Knapp, that piggybacked on the 32 Wickersham, that piggybacked on the 29 Seabury Commission. So you're not going to sit here and tell me that this is my opinion. Internal affairs is inept and broken. There's no third-party system to oversee these people who are supposed to be called peace officers. So don't sit here and say things to me that it's my opinion when it's not. It's a fact.
Have facts.
I'm not trying to offend. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm kicking back facts, and I want to know the truth about what the underlying problem is.
Well, yeah. What the underlying problem is that
culture of the wall of silence.
The culture. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, that's one of them. That us versus them mentality. That wall of not letting people in. And we have, and in this profession, you still have some very old dinosaurs that are still, that still sit back on this mentality of things.
Well, just so you know, Evan McKnight and Chance Blankenship and Brendan Blankenship and Bradley Spuljarek, all those guys were in their 30s in Ironton, and at least one of them is in prison, and 3 more just got sued. And Chance Blankenship, you're going to get your day in court. I'm suing you in individual capacity. You may say my lawsuit's dismissed. I'm going to refile. Even if it is dismissed, I'm going to file a motion for consideration that we wrote today, and then tomorrow I'm going to file the motion for consideration, and Barrett or Bartlett, whatever his name is, he's going to say no, and then I'm going to refile against you, jackboot thug pigs. So this isn't my opinion, and it's not some really old dinosaurs. You've created a series of policies through the Supreme Court that make it so cops have our rights in their pocket, and we have no recourse. Unless you go through the federal court where you get judges like Bartlett in Ohio, who's trying to dismiss my case. You're such a scumbag, bro.
Of that, no, we don't do this. No, you need to stop doing this. No, and I look at him, I go, let me make this clear. I have a job to do. I do it the way that I believe the law tells me how to do it. And I'm not going to come out here and violate people's civil rights. You can pack that idea up. I have been put down on the ground at gunpoint with 2 deputies who thought I had just committed a fucking robbery and shot at the person, and it wasn't me at all. And I was laid in the middle of a road when I was a kid.
You had guns drawn on you?
Yeah, when I was 17. I was 17 years old, and there had been a robbery right up the road where they had shot at the clerk. And I was driving a red Toyota Corolla, and at the time the suspect vehicle was a red Toyota Corolla, and it was a white guy. But thank God I had a Pizza Hut delivery uniform on, shirt on, and I had a hat, which the guy didn't have, and so on and so forth. So I got, they dusted me off. They figured out it wasn't me, and they said, "Go about your merry way."
They pointed their guns at the pizza boy?
Huh?
They pointed their guns at you?
Yeah, they didn't know I was a pizza guy yet until they got me up off the ground and cuffed me and everything and brought me back over. They saw the Pizza Hut shirt and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working. There's pizza boxes in the back of the car." and where are you coming from? And I told them where I was coming from,
and he still became a jackboot thug pig.
It was in a total wrong area of where the robbery had just occurred.
But then you still want to be a cop after that, after the guns in the ground and the cuffs?
Oh yeah, dude, I got brought home by the sheriff's office a couple of times growing up because of the stupid shit I did. And I mean, one deputy was a total jackass to me, and the other one was, he came and then he kept coming back and checking on me and making sure I was doing the right thing. And that's one of the things that when I talk about our different, we haven't for a long time communicated with the public. And one of the things that I always used to tell my guys, and I still tell them, it's just like up here in the Detective Bureau, I say to them, listen to me. When I assign you a case, I want you to call the victim within the first 5 to 10 days, but I want that victim to hear your voice. I want that victim to know we're doing this.
And Chris, I commend you for that, but when someone calls the police and their rights have been violated, we don't want to hear from the cops 5 or 10 days later. When your rights are violated, you've been robbed, stolen, raped, beaten, cheated, you want to see the rights protectors come swooping in and the Ring camera system invoked so that we can track that guy who did that to us and get them. But he's saying within 5 or 10 days, a lot of people's Ring cameras are rolled over within 72 hours. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But he was going off, and I just wanted to let him have his chance to speak.
Now, will it probably take us time to investigate their case? Yeah, but give that victim some kind of notice that you've got it. It's in your hands. That's reassurance. That's the first thing I tell them to do. And then I tell them, you're going to exhaust everything you can exhaust while you're up here, because when I read that final report and I get ready to close it out, if you haven't done something I think you need to do, I'm going to send it back to you and tell you to go do it. And I said, those are my rules to begin with. I'm not but back to what the questions you were asking me are. My belief system is that in this world, we have been too quiet, and that we have not done things that officers need done. Like, we are now finally getting around to giving officers mental health, giving them out, giving them mental health, getting them out of their box, having them talk to people, having to do this. And as a matter of fact, we will force an officer to go to mental health counseling if we believe there's an issue. And you have to go to it. You can't say no.
There's an issue, Chris. There's an issue. Send a lot of them. Send them quick.
Oh, bro, listen to me. I have been. Matter of fact, one of our guys just got arrested the other day, and I was so disappointed in him getting arrested. But and I'm terribly. I hate it. But as I told him, I said, the way the rules are. If it comes to me, they give it to me to investigate. You know how this is going to work. And if it's there, I told him flat out, I was like, we're going to fire you, period. But that wall of non-communication.
Fire you, period. No, we're going to charge you with the crime that you did to the person as you dressed up like a clown. That's what's going to happen. So now listen to this next part. I paused it right here so you could hear this.
We're going to fire you, period. But that wall of non-communication to me is the biggest problem that there is. And I'm going to make an assumption. So I'm going to make an ass out of myself with you. And it goes like this. I am pretty sure that in some of your interactions with cops prior to, I'll say, your activist days, I'll bet that you had interactions with police officers where they were total assholes, number one.
Put a 1 in the chat if you've had an interaction with a police officer who's a total asshole. Put a 1 in the chat. Just want to know.
They never gave you a legitimate reason as to who, how, what, when, where, and why. And they didn't do any of that, and they just pushed you away like you were a piece of trash.
There it is right there. So what that shows you is that Chris Bradshaw, along with every other pig, and Chris, I don't want to call him a pig because he joined a Death Star. He likes his job. He wears a thin blue line. So kind of the definition of a pig, but he did offer a service, and he is investigating the case that I called about, and they have publicly blasted Amy Moon and put on their Facebook page that she's under investigation. Now, whether that investigation is going to yield any fruit, or if there's going to be any sort of actual punishment done, like fired for arresting him wrongly, then that would be one thing. But the reason I stopped it here is because Chris knows that when you get stopped and the cops don't tell you what's going on and there's no communication, you're going nuts. Why are these cops grabbing me? Why are they trying to put me in torture cuffs? What's going on here? And he knows, just like every other cop on the force, that it's horrible for us. It's absolutely horrible for us. And so, so Wanda, just so you know, this gentleman here, Nicholas, that's his name, is Nicholas. He watched my ChatGPT video on how to get his body camera footage. He followed it to a T. That's how we're having this conversation right now. Because I taught a 1-episode class, DLZ clips, if you'll grab that and throw it in the comment section, that'd be great. I taught a 1-episode how to use ChatGPT, and Nicholas here, this gentleman here who I have a comment posted, he saw the video, did it, and now we have the body cam footage that shows his tyrannical arrest. So, Wanda, you can get the footage yourself. You just have to be willing to fight to get it.
Time.
And
they took me with them in torture cuffs and took me to a dungeon and dropped me off at the most dangerous time period of my life for the next however many hours I'm in there. I'm at the most danger. I get strip searched. I have to pull my sack up, let a stranger look up my asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go into this place where it's now divided by race. And I love all colors of people. I'm friends with all colors of people. And if I look up at the guards, then they'll tell me to look down at the ground, not look at them. And I haven't done anything wrong. There's no victim in my path. So that brings me to my next question. What is your job? When you go to do your job, what's your job?
Technically, my job is I am the criminal investigation supervisor. So
he doesn't get it.
I direct detectives, and I have interaction with our drug unit and our drug unit sergeant. But overall, I have victim advocates, I have crime analysts, and I have.
It's not his job.
And then I'm the backup administrator to our body camera program and our taser program. I'm the one that teaches these guys how to use it and do everything with it. I tell them all the ins and outs of it, and there are things I tell them, don't do this.
It's not his job.
You know, one of the things that drives me up the fucking wall, they don't do it anymore. They used to turn their body cameras on and off when they were changing statements from, like, if we had 5 victims or 5 people they need to interview, they would interview this person, then they turn their body camera off, then they turn it back on, and then they'd interview that person, and they turn it off, and then they'd interview that person. I'm like, leave the damn thing on the whole time. But sir, do we want to break them up? No, just leave it on. Just leave it on. You know, and we have a policy that if you turn that damn mute button on, you better have a damn good reason for doing it, and you can pretty much bet you're probably going to be written up.
Sounds good.
So we've taken care of that issue. So criminal investigations, I handle our body camera program. I manage our victim advocates, crime analysts.
Still hasn't said his job yet.
I do spot inspections through the entire agency. I do accreditation. I have more shit to do, and I'm also the traffic homicide supervisor on top of that.
But I don't hear any. But what is the job of a cop? Because your job is
I understand.
To pull me over, arrest me, take me to the dungeon, and take my money, and that's your job as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And that's the opinion of. Let me just say that's the opinion of. I mean, I have hundreds of thousands of people who subscribe to my channel.
Absolutely.
So that means that people who follow me, obviously, a lot of those people feel the same way. So what is when you say you're a cop and everybody has a brother or a neighbor or a cousin or a lover who's a cop, they're part of America. So what's your job?
The job of police now is building. Well, first off, the job of police, obviously, as it always says, we're here to serve and protect the public.
Doesn't get it.
But in today's world, I think there needs to be a little more underlying in that, and not be super fine, small, itty bitty fine print. It really needs to be your community relations, and that's something that we have pushed. Our agency has a very good.
He doesn't get it.
Has a very good interaction and a very. Why can't I talk? Our agency has a very good relationship with all of our youth programs here, and all of our youth programs surround,
which is what we don't want. I don't want you indoctrinating kids. Now, he said earlier, if you guys listened, he has 7 kids that are his adopted family. That I'm sorry, I'm busy. You got to come back. Go on, Charlie. Charlie, go to your pillow. So he's got 7 kids pillow. He's got 7 kids that he's adopted, that he's taken care of. Charlie, come on, buddy. Sorry. I'm going to kill the dog. Come here. Come over here. Come up here. Come up here. Come right up here. Come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Stop. No, stop. There's a bunch of people. Charlie. Stop. No one's there, Charlie. It's okay. Nobody's there. It's okay. No one's there, Charlie. Nobody's there. I got you, buddy. Okay. Give me 1 second. Who is it? Stop knocking. I'm live. Give me 1 second. So, say hello to Charlie, or he's going to just keep barking. Hold on, I got to finish what I'm doing here. Take them both outside, will you? Just let me finish this live real quick. Oh, okay. You need it right now?
Yeah. How to use it for kicks.
Hold on a second. There's hundreds of people here. So give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So, this is what I'm talking about, is that he doesn't understand what a policeman's job is. His job is to uphold our rights. That's what his job is. His job is to be a peace officer. His job is not all the things that he's listed here so far. It's just not true. He's saying things that are fundamentally untrue.
Are minorities in our city, because that's what we have. We have a lot of Section 8 housing here and stuff like that, but we have a unit, granted they're down 2 positions right now, but we have a unit solely that is community engagement. It's all they do is community engagement. All of our officers, when they come to our agency, all have to go through community engagement training. And that's really where we really need to be in Copdom, period. There, is being educators and being sympathetic and having empathy and getting into the community and knowing your community, because like I said to you before, I got no fears about walking through the city in the middle of the night. Not a damn one in the world. And that's where every officer should be, is that they should be able to walk through their community without a problem at all. And again, I will say, and you've said it best, and there are going to be bad apples in every bunch. But is every cop a bad person? No, they're not. And
well, hold on a minute. Let's examine that just for a moment, shall we? Because I want to make sure that we know what we're all talking about here. So, is every cop a bad apple, or is every cop a bad person? Okay, well, let's talk about that in some real granular detail. If you're a cop and you have seen another cop abuse somebody and you haven't arrested that cop, you're a bad person. If you have fudged a report to match up with a fellow brother in blue's lying report, you're a bad cop. If you have seen injustice, or you've taken a complaint from a citizen who said this guy is a violent monster, and you didn't chase that down yourself, you're a bad cop. You're a bad person. You're evil. You are the epitome of when good men stand, when evil is present and do nothing. You are a bad person. Make no God-blessed bones about it. Okay? If you see another cop do something that hurts another person, and you don't, Amy Moon, if you went to the scene and there's no probable cause, and you don't pull Amy to the side and say, what are you doing? You came here, there's no reasonable articulable suspicion, there's no probable cause, and you got this guy in torture cuffs. Every cop on the Cocoa Police Department who went to the stop, who went there, you're a bad cop. So I just want to be clear here. I just want to be clear. You're a bad cop if you don't step in and stop the tyranny. You're a bad cop if you look the other way. You're a bad cop if you lie on reports. You're a bad cop. Do you understand that? So what has the Wickersham taught us? The Wickersham Commission from 1932, 1933, that all the cops know that the other cops are running alcohol. So how many good cops are there? 0. The Knapp Commission told us that every cop on the force knew he was dealing drugs, knew he was running gambling rings, knew he was involved in prostitution. And nobody said anything. Not a single person said anything. Those are all bad cops. Fast forward to the 1994 Mullen Commission. We know that Michael Dowd was known. We know that he was dealing drugs. We know that other cops were involved in the drug dealing. How many cops are good cops? 0 cops. 0. Don't blame me for having the knowledge. If you haven't read the Mullen Commission, don't say a damn word to me. Don't come on my page talking trash if you haven't read the Mullen Commission. Most of the people in this room, they've downloaded it because I see it when it goes through my back end that they've downloaded the Mullen Commission. Why haven't you downloaded it? Oh, I saw this guy on YouTube. He said that there's 0 good cops because they all cover up for each other. Well, did you read the damn paperwork that taught me this? I didn't come up with that on my own. I know it's true. I know most of these cops are thugs. I know most of them are dishonest, disloyal, lying, jackboot thug pigs. I know it like I know it. Don't sit here and tell me that most cops are good, because there's been 4 commissions that I've read in the past 100 years of policing starting all the way back in 1929, today's 2023, that's 96 years, 94 years of policing. We know that most cops are bad. Most cops are liars. Most cops are criminal. We know that. I didn't write those commissions. I've got them on my website for free.
Know that. You have the ones out there that make the national news media that do shit like you're looking at right now, which is absolutely uncalled for and outside the boundaries of the law, and those are the ones that need to be disciplined and dealt with.
The original reason I called, but you still didn't really answer, right? You told me
trying.
No, but what I'm saying is that your job, as far as I'm concerned, is to uphold people's rights and to protect rights.
Right. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
And you guys instead, though, are law enforcers. And you're going to enforce the law upon us, any law you can possibly enforce upon us. Even you'll committee and powwow afterwards and say, well, what can we charge him with? And that is the whole problem.
I remember those days.
When I talk to you, Chris, it's like you have blinders on.
I don't have blinders on. I'm not that naive. I know better than that. I'm not that naive.
I'm not trying to insult you because I've been.
No, I know.
I'm not trying to be mean to you, dude. What I'm saying is how I asked you what a cop is, what the job is, and I re-questioned you. What is a cop supposed to do? What's a cop's job? A cop's job is to uphold rights, and instead you guys call yourselves law enforcers and you wear a gang symbol. And as long as that continues, you and I are. I mean, bro, we could sit down and have a burger, and I hardly ever drink, but I would have a beer with you.
I don't drink anymore either way. So I'd have sweet tea.
I just don't. I'm too. It affects me too much the next day. But what I'm saying is you cannot sport a gang symbol and call yourselves law enforcers and hide on the side of the road and then turn on and off the body camera. You nailed it, man. Turning on and off the body camera footage. And
remember what I said to you about why their justification was for doing that. And with that being said, in that instance, in that example, we have subsequently told them to stop doing that. Now, here's the rules in our agency, and all of our, just so you know. Hey, Joseph, you're moving because I can't hear you. You're broken up. There you are.
Who are the guys that have drop guns in your department?
I've never seen any of that. We don't have. Understand, in the last shooting, we've had 2 shootings.
I'm reading about it right now.
We've had 2 shootings in the last. I think we had 2 shootings where we shot the person was in the 2020. I think was our last one, and the one before that, the officer come up, kicked the guy off the lady as he is stabbing her, and shoots him after he's yelling at him to get away from her, and he won't do it, and he kicks him. The guy gets up, starts to come at him with a knife, and he shoots him. Other than that, the last time we had a shooting...
was that the one I saw where he was like in between the chick's legs with a knife?
It could have been that one where he's stabbing her in the park in front of all the kids.
There was a brutal one I saw, and I never... listen, I'm not down for shooting people, but there was a brutal that I saw where the dude was between a chick's legs and then I think it was in New York, and he got up and tried and had the knife, and the cop shot him, and everybody was mad. And I was like, wait a minute.
But
I hate that. You cannot have a knife on another person and have a gun. If I have my gun and I'm there, I'll shoot that guy myself.
Exactly.
What are you talking
exactly
about?
It.
I just need one juror to agree with me.
Well, that you wouldn't even in our county, you probably wouldn't even get that far. They'd be like, hell no. He's Good Samaritan Act. He's got stand the ground law. He's got the Castle Doctrine. Not Castle Doctrine, excuse me. He's got the stand your ground law. No, we wouldn't even make it that way. It wouldn't even make it that far. Okay, listen.
Well,
hold on.
We got miles to go, and last one I have for you is
go ahead.
Why can't you get rid of those torture cuffs, dude? Like, what is the problem?
Dude, I have no idea how to even begin to talk of that. That's one that you and I will have to sit and probably both of us drink one night and see if we can come up with an answer for that.
I could give you Velcro straps that most 99% of people, 99%, when you say, hey, listen, I'm going to hold you on camera right here. You can run off. I'm going to show the judge you ran off. You'll probably get charged with felony. I'm not even going to chase you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? I think 90% of people who are not on meth are not.
Yeah.
Even if I'm drunk, I want to run off. I might walk 4 feet and sit down, but I don't want to. I don't want to get a felony on camera. And no police department has tried that. No police department has said, we're not going to detain people at all. You can come with us. We need you to come with us. And you're on camera, and we're going to show the judge. And if you act crazy, we'll call a whole squad of people in here, and you know how it'll go. But if we're going to give you 30 minutes here, 45 minutes, an hour. And then after that, if you don't come with us, we're going to bring those guys in. They're going to come grab you. You can run. Go ahead,
we have guys that'll give you a head start.
You can run. I got your face. You're on camera. I'm sending this out to everybody. It's going to go on social media that you're a runner. And everybody's going to pay attention, but you're going to get charged with felony. It's going to be horrible. I think 90% of people don't go a damn foot away. Now, you told me that, Chris? I may not like it, but I'm not going to leave. I might tell you to go F yourself. I might tell you to suck my... I might tell you, you're a punk-ass pig, all those things, right?
Oh, wow. I've been called all those things. I'm good with that.
Tell me, the judge is watching, and if you walk off right now, or you assault me or anybody else, you're going to be charged with felony by the judge. You're talking to the judge. Whatever you want to do is up to you. You can even point your body camera right at him. It's right here, dude. I'm not even going to touch you. Do whatever the hell you want. Or you got to come with me because your girlfriend's got a black eye. What do you want to do? Yeah. We're going to take you. What do you want to do? How do you want to do this? Come on. Chris, why hasn't that been done anyway?
Why hasn't it?
I have no idea.
Why hasn't that been done? Why hasn't any police department in America taken me up on the digital detainment challenge? People who even commit violent crimes. Once you catch them and you got them, you're on camera. No one's going to grab you. You got to walk with us. You got to get in the van, and we're going to take you to get booking. Why hasn't any department taken me up on the challenge? Show me how wrong I am. Show me how people just simply will not comply with you. Well, you do have that dungeon system, so it wouldn't shock me if some people didn't want to go, because I've been to the dungeon dozens of times and it's horrible.
I really don't know.
For officer safety, it's the Terry versus Ohio. That's why.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't know why they haven't tried that. I can tell you that would be a very interesting thing to try, but it'd be very interesting to see. But I can tell you that some people will go climb in the car. I arrested a lady one night for DUI, and she said, "I'm drunk. I know I'm going to jail." And she walked over to the back of my car and got in the back. She was like, "Whoa, come here, cowgirl. We got to pat you down first. I got to make sure I need a female officer to come pat you down. You think you're in the back of my car? You could have a gun on you. You could." I don't know what you might be out there smoking weed while we're going to the jail. I can't get in trouble for that.
People have it.
He laughs about it and dismisses it and says, "You're smoking weed back there. Ha, 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 ha." Well, last I checked, weed never killed anybody.
How to tase other people?
No. I'm not a taser instructor at all. I have the tasers, and I'm part of the management team of that, but I don't deal with that. I don't want to learn that shit. I don't want to learn it. I don't want to learn it because I don't need it. I'm upstairs. I'm not on the road, and I mean I still have my old one, but our new ones are out there. They're getting ready to force us all over into the new ones, which is good, which is cool.
It's not good.
New what?
The new tasers. They have another new taser coming out. They have like X26. But hey, hold on. All right. Listen. You and I have been chatting for an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay,
all right?
Chris. Thanks.
All right, brother. I'll let you later. Thank you again.
Later.
Bye.
So that was Chris Bradshaw at the Cocoa Police Department in Florida. Chris, I hope that you don't get in any trouble for the conversation that we had. I thank you, Mr. Bradshaw, for the conversation. Obviously, I have aired my disagreements here with you. I've aired my disagreements very clearly and vividly. So the clear disagreements, just off the top of my head, are number one, you don't get a pass. You don't get a pass for your blue terror stripe. We no longer see it as a fallen officer symbol. We no longer see it as the Police Benevolent Fund. We don't see it like that. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. You see the blue stripe as a terror symbol, as a gang symbol. So there's one. Number two, Chris, digital detainment. We need to move. One department in America has to move to where you no longer grab people. We're going to give people a fair chance to walk over to the car, not in the back of a torture mobile where you sit down in a seat and you put your seatbelt on. If you have to be taken, if you hit your wife, for example, you probably got to be taken. If you go to the house and she's got a black eye and a bloody nose, you need to be taken away from her. Sorry. Okay. Forgive me for not being pro domestic violence. I'm not for it. As you guys know, I've got how many restraining orders? That wasn't because I beat women. That was because I don't back down and they hit me and I just took it. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be annoying to you, but I'm not going to hit you. If I hit women, there wouldn't be a restraining order against me. There'd be charges. There's not even a 911 call on me ever in the history of my being. There's not a 911 call about me. There's not one. So I don't believe in beating on other people. Before I was 25, I was in lots of fistfights. But after 25, I knocked a dude unconscious. I thought he died. I swore off violence. I've never been violent again on the street. So we disagree about your thin blue terror line. We disagree about torture cuffs. Why can't one of these police departments say, I heard this guy on YouTube, sounds crazy, but let's move to digital detainment. Let's try it. You can say it sounds crazy. You can say whatever you want. However it takes for you to jump the shark of the same old, putting people in torture cuffs. But I think the biggest takeaway, Marcy Fox is here. Good to see you, Marcy. I think the biggest takeaway that we have here is if he had pled his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, he wouldn't have been arrested. If he had said, I refuse to answer any questions, don't question me any further, or it goes around your qualified immunity, and I'm going to sue you, then he wouldn't have been arrested. You got to have a trifold in your car. You got to have it. You're much less likely to be arrested if you shut down and go mute and refuse to answer any questions. And if you get it on camera that he is questioning you, then he's violated his oath to office. And as you know from the two-prong test, the cop has to know that he's violating your rights, and you have to be able to prove it in court that you stated you're violating my Fifth Amendment right. That's all going to be on camera now. That's all going to be on camera. This is your key to not having to deal with jackboot thug pigs. If they don't know the law, you can tell them you need to learn the law. You're going outside of your qualified immunity. You can't ask me a single question. You can't ask me what's in the glove box. You can't ask me what's in the trunk. You can't ask me what my last name is. It's on my ID. I've given you everything I have to give you provided by law right there. I've given you everything by law that I'm required to give you. This is your key. Your trifold is your key to not having to answer questions and not having to parry and block and dodge and twist. And that's what they do. Where are you heading? I don't want to tell you where I'm heading. Where are you coming from? The second question came because your response was not, I plead the Fifth Amendment, my right to remain silent. It's unequivocal. It's the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution established in 1793, written in 1791. What are you talking about? It's been around for over 200 years. It's right here. And if you violate my Fifth Amendment right, it's on camera and I'm going to sue your ass. I'm going to sue your ass. I thought I would feel better listening to this conversation back, but I actually feel worse. I actually feel like I didn't make enough progress with Chris. Even though he did everything he could to provide a service, even though he did teach me things that I didn't know yesterday, and I'm super grateful for that, even though he did follow through and actually put a complaint on Amy Moon. He actually did it. And then the gentleman whose video this is, I'm going to have a lawyer from Florida reach out to me. I keep on blanking on his actual, what was his legal name again? This gentleman with the username right here. What was his legal name? What was the name in the police report? Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate it. Yeah, Nicholas. So Nicholas, I'm doing a call out right now to lawyers in Florida, anywhere around Cocoa, Florida. If you want to help Nicholas file his federal civil rights lawsuit, reach out to me. Go to deletelaws.com, the same place that you get this trifold. Go to deletelaws.com, hit the inquiry form, and then say, hey, here's my bar card number. I want to help. I got lawyers all over the country who are doing this right now. Matter of fact, there's a lawyer up in Pennsylvania right now about to jump in the fight. He's jumping in the fight for the first time. And I've been acquainted with this guy for over a year. We've been talking on the phone. We've had a lot of conversations, and now he's finally jumping in the fight. He's not only jumping in the fight, he's jumping in the fight from, I'm not going to go into detail about his personal stuff, but Nick, you know, I recommend, if I was you, Nick, I would go down and, you know, you don't have to do this, but if I was you, what I would do, I would go down to the city council and I would file a notice of intent to sue, and I would serve the city attorney of my notice of intent to sue. That's what I would do. And then that could start the negotiation between you and the city council for a settlement, so that you don't want to go through a federal civil rights lawsuit if you don't have to. You can negotiate, Nick, that what her punishment's going to be, what your payout's going to be, and a public apology from the city. And to me, Nick, just so you know, that would be a win if it was me. If Las Vegas Metro Police Department decides to settle with me so I can get the money to go to the hand surgeon to try to get the numbness out of my pinky over here, I would take that settlement, because I need the money to go see the doctor because my hand is numb. I want to get my hand worked on and I don't have the money. So I would take that settlement. I want the money to go work on my hand. I don't care. I need the money, Lebowski. I need the money, Lebowski. And then, for the love of God, get your insurance and your registration on a card. Get your insurance and your registration on one card that slips right into your trifold. Your trifold is up in your visor because I gave you a rubber band with your purchase. Why do you think I did that? Why do you think I gave away 100 trifolds over the last 3 or 4 days? If you're one of those people that got a free trifold, go ahead, chime in. It's fine. I mean, maybe you don't want to because you don't have any money right now. I get it. But I gave away at least 100 trifolds in the past 3 or 4 days. Lots of inquiries were coming in for free trifolds. I just sat there and sent them. It took hours of my life. I just did it. That's how bad I want you to have this in your car. I'm willing to give it to you for free. Now, I don't ship the trifold that's digital. You print that at home and you print it out and you put it in your car. This is the one that comes from my printer in Los Angeles. So you guys have got to understand, I am so deadly serious about helping you. The Fifth Amendment card should be done tonight, and then tomorrow I'll show you guys the final card. And I'm looking forward to you guys having the Fifth Amendment card that goes in your wallet. When the cop says, hey, let me see some ID, you give him the Fifth Amendment card and you have one in your hand as well. And you walk down the card with him. It's so good. It is so good. It is so good. So good. Anyway, I'm going to get the flock out of here. I've been on here for 3 hours, and I wanted to cover a couple more things tonight. But more than anything else, I wanted to cover Chris Bradshaw. So first of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Bradshaw, for your time. I appreciate you sitting on the phone with me and talking with me. I want to thank Mr. Bradshaw for actually filing a complaint against Amy Moon. I want to thank Nicholas from the I Am God channel. That's the name of his channel. I want to thank Nicholas for sending me the video, sending it to DLZ Clips. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming here to my TED Talk and letting me talk a little bit and share my time with you and listening to this video. I'm super, super grateful. You know, without you guys, I'm not as powerful. I'm only powerful when I'm standing in front of cops and standing on my rights, but to help as many people as we've helped, to bail people out, to pay people's rent, to pay for their food, to pay for their gas, to get them to court, to everything that you guys have done with this channel, I am nothing but humbled and grateful. Thank you. So if you would, please put in the comment section, OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. And let me thank the people here, Victor, Les Paul, Wanda. Nice to see you in here. I saw M-Star Media came through. Good to see you again, M-Star. Pete, what's going on? Oscar, thank you so much for coming. Here's the deal came by. Here's the deal. What's up, Brian, over there? Here's the deal. Good to see you. Freedom and Justice. Liberty Lens, thank you for coming. Justin, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you guys all so much for coming. People News Today, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Greg, Mikey, my regulars. In Cope Dog, I saw him earlier today online. I was happy to see him. David, thank you for coming. I appreciate you coming. Thank you guys so much. Liquid Zero, nice contribution. Aaron Queen, good to see you, Aaron. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that, Aaron. Another dog. Lenny, thank you, Lenny. I appreciate you coming by, man. Really means a lot to me. All right, listen, I will get the flock out of here. Jack Booth Thug Pigs and Jeff Hates Pigs. Love you guys, man. Thank you guys for coming. I miss V Boyer. Didn't see V Boyer around, but I saw Mad and I saw Lucky and I saw Share the Truth. Nice to see you, Shock Professor. Good to see you. Good to see you guys, man. Good to see everybody in here. I try not to look at the comments because it'll distract me, and I can get triggered. So I just try to stay away from the comments. But Marcy, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Herb, thanks for coming. I'm going to get the flock out of here. I need a break. I need a break. This was harder than I thought. Going over his conversation was harder than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot easier than this. It was difficult. All right, Jack Boot Thug Pigs, I'm going to get the flock out of here. Everybody get over to the backup channel, DLZ Clips, Delete Laws Clips. That's my man Colin over there running that channel. I think Colin, just so you guys know, let me give you guys some fun facts here. Colin, over the past 48 hours or something, has got 2 million views on Delete Laws Clips. He's running it like an analytic machine. All right, I'm going to get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.